Hello! Hello. I didn't do a bonus stream. I was doing too much dicking around. I did play a fair bit of The Bazaar on my days off, but I was also dicking around doing other stuff, you know, writing things, editing things, so on and so forth. So, Bazaar is nice because you can just stop playing it for a sec. Like, there's no time pressure, so you can just be like, I'm gonna do a turn and then go fuck around with something else. Anyway, how's it going, folks? How's it going? I was meant to do a funny gimmick intro, but I forgot, and I only just remembered. I'll do it tomorrow. Thank you for the vague posting. What vague posting have I been doing? I don't think I've done any, babe. Your idea's good. I just forgot until, like, right now. Exathians in hell. Oh, is your holiday over and you're back in Sheffield? I'm gonna try having the yellow goggles off for a bit. We'll see how it goes. If I start to feel strained or something, I will Why is my whiteness destroyed? Okay. I'll look a bit like a hot dog. Whatever, it's fine. You're in Tenerife. Oh, they're gonna kill you, boy. They're gonna put you on a pike. They're gonna spit roast you. Well, you'd probably like that, but you know what I'm like. Not sexual spit roast. Literally cook and eat you. They're sick of over tourism there, aren't they? It's too hot. Why did you go to Tenerife? What? Don't ignore the crystal. Why would I go in the crystal? Only direct enemies get crystallized. Me, I personally just didn't give much of a fuck as an expat. I don't care. I'm not going back. They're not doing anything for me. Tim, you said you would vote Harris. When did I say that? When did I say that? I'm far too racist to vote for Kamala Harris. Why am I covering it? As an American, it's my duty. Donald Trump is paying me to watch liberal freakouts. We're not really going to be watching liberal freakouts unless you have some good ones. I don't know. I don't think any of the ones I found were too great. I have a few things lined up. But we can also just fuck around and look at whatever today. First day of the streaming week. Watch the Vosh cult stuff. What is the Vosh cult stuff? I have 2 Vosh videos lined up. I have Vosh's If Trump Wins video. And then I have Vosh's Yeah, It Was Really Bad video. That's it. Hello. Ooh. Okay. Before we get into Trump memes, election memes, for the gamers, I'm a really solid Vanessa player in the Bazaar now. I fucking suck shit at the pig. Although I played Vanessa for a week and I just started playing the pig today, so you know, I don't know his items. I don't know his fucking items. Vosh does have an If Trump Wins video. But there is there is a far more important individual. Few people, I think, go to this fellow for his political analysis. I might just be wrong, by the way. I might be wrong when I say this, but I have a suspicion about this one. DJ Cheese has won the presidency. He'll be ascending to his throne in January. Someone doesn't like that. And what I called Trump should clue you in. At least I'm making an assumption. Okay, spoiler. I don't spoil WPC videos for myself. I don't pre-watch WPC. But don't you think it's suspicious that this video went up a day ago? And it's called WPC is leaving YouTube now. Goodbye. to all to you all Kato fans and Dark Warriors. Yeah, DJ Cheese. You don't know about DJ Cheese? Wait, this is... I don't think I caught the one from 4 years ago. Have you guys not seen the one with the... I mean, I've shown it on stream. But, just a recap on WPC's feelings on Trump.
Do you know that DJ T got shot because...
DJ Cheese. You didn't know that's his real name?
You know that DJ T got shot because he deserved that. He fucking did deserve it because he's racist. Racism is not an option at all. Because we need older than you did to be equal rights, like Martin Luther King, like everybody else does. Like, we will never be part of the desegregation. Not at all. Not even a single damn thing.
So this is how he was popping off 3 months ago, and yesterday he talks about leaving YouTube.
I'm not playing with y'all. This ain't no joke. No joke at all.
At all.
Racism is not an option. DJ T deserves to get shot.
That's how he was going 3 months ago. 4 years ago, he was mad as fuck as well, I presume. 1 day ago, WPC is leaving YouTube. Now, goodbye to you all, Kato fans and Dark Warriors. You know what? Bet in the Twitch chat. It's about Trump or it's not about Trump. You're gonna have 30 seconds. Is it Trump related or not? You have 30 seconds to bet. Only 30 seconds because I don't want you to cheat. I don't want you to cheat. Over 3,500 videos? Yeah, WPC is a gem. Look, don't touch. Look, don't touch. 85% yes, 15% no. 13% no now. It's creeping down. 2% no. Hundreds of thousands of channel points on yes. Like, it's fucking gotta be, but it's WPC, so it might not be. 11 comments. We'll look at the comments afterwards.
Dark Warriors and all your Kato fans.
Whoa.
I'm leaving YouTube. I'm leaving. You should kiss WPC's ass goodbye.
No! No!
I'm not playing.
What about the Dark Evil Warriors?
I'm leaving YouTube.
Does it mean nothing to you?
I'm so mad. Upset right now.
He's so mad. His lips went away. Momentarily, if you caught that.
I'm completely single right now.
Oh! Single. What's changed, brother?
It was Erin Doherty, the one I went to Bowling League with.
It's not Trump.
I can't believe this. This is happening right now because my friend Nick told me about it.
Stop the steal. There's still time. There's still time. This could be a tangent. We know how off the walls he goes with tangents.
Right straight to my damn face.
My damn
and everything
face.
I heard on those text messages between me and Nick about what happened.
Okay, it's a bit bright. You know what? I'm putting the shades on. The signature shades. They stay on for now.
I'm done. I'm completely 100% finished right now.
It's over.
I'm completely 100% finished and done.
And done. Medium, not medium rare.
And I'm leaving YouTube now.
Now!
And don't ask me why, because I am not very quite sure about returning to YouTube. Not very quite sure.
Not very quite sure. You should leave YouTube now.
I'm not playing. This ain't no joke. No joke
No joke at all.
I'm ending the video now. So goodbye to you all you Dark Warriors and all you Kato fans. CATOFANS. I'm leaving YouTube now. See you.
He should have said see you never. Right. Nothing to do with Trump. Goddamn. Now, I'm sorry everyone. I know you're probably crying. I know your heart is probably broken. Your chest hurts. Everyone in chat is hyperventilating. WPC is going away. There's been an outpouring of love. Please don't go, WPC. I loved your streams and your Bully Let's Play. I hope you can return someday soon. This is very sad. We'll miss you. Don't stress. Just keep grinding. We need you. Is this no joke? No joke at all. Why are you leaving YouTube? Ah! Fucking... In the millisecond between... I'm not sure I'm going to return to YouTube. I've got things to do in life to attend to. Aaron Doherty is dead meat. However, wipe your tears away. Wipe your tears away. Oh, other replies? Hope you can return someday. I hope so. Take care. Don't stress too much. Just keep grinding. You will get yourself a beautiful vanilla queen, I promise. How? You spelled it wrong. It's queen, not queen. Is this no joke? No joke at all? Yes! For context on the vanilla queen, before I show you... spoiler. Before I show you his next video, his latest video, he often makes posts like this. I suspect there are some people who will be here who are not familiar with WPC. Here's an example of a community post from 4 days ago. The darkness of light shall rise again, but there's no interracial hate at all. The interracial relationship chocolate and vanilla of the goddess. We shall never give up. Of hope. The future is overflowing with hope as always. The future dreams can come true in life. He's an inspiration YouTuber, okay? But like I said, don't cry. All of you Kato fans, CATOFANS, and Dark Warriors, you want me back on YouTube? That's fine. Now, here's the challenge. We're doing another 30-second bet. Do not cheat. Is it that's fine, he's back? Or is it that's fine that you want me back? I'm still not coming back. You get what I'm saying? Is he returning because people called for it? Or is he saying it's fine you want that, I'm still not doing it? So is he back? Yes or no? You keep seeing so many memes about crystals, but I don't know what that is. It's sort of... A crystal is really, if you think about it, a mystical, esoteric, occult, libtard concentration camp. That's what a crystal is when you think about it.
Pikanshin has become a member.
Thank you,
He's
Pikanshin.
not going away at all.
We'll see about that.
Hey, Dark Warriors and all your Kato fans. CATOFANS.
He's got his anger lights on.
So, this is WPC. You want me back on YouTube? That's fine. So, yeah.
He's recording live from inside the crystal.
So anyways, Dark Warriors and all you Kato fans, thank you for all y'all subscribing me on my channel. I appreciate it, all y'all support by smashing the like button.
What?
Comment by saying something nice, and I appreciate it as well. So anyways,
it's literally just that's fine.
Keep subscribing me, all you Dark Warriors and all you Kato fans.
He's back.
I can't not wait to get a YouTube Play Button award.
He's so back.
So I can't wait for that.
I've never seen him like this.
Well, I joined YouTube since 2014. I was like 20 years old. So yeah.
Does anyone know if he's aping, one of those big creative videos where they quit YouTube?
Since I joined YouTube. So yeah.
Why is he talking so weird?
You love my live streams. You love my gaming of Bully, like any types of gaming videos. In my reaction videos as well, it's something that is funny or something that is serious as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We need a Trump speech react.
I know you're gonna miss me, but
oh,
you want me back, that's fine. So yeah. All you Cato fans, CATOFANS, you want me back? Fine.
At this point, I'm gonna have to cancel the vote.
I'm completely single right now. And I'm not happy at all.
And you can't complain about clickbait, Jim Skunk. He did just say the title 3 times in this video. That's pretty much all he's done, and say that he's single. You get
for being single.
More than fool me for thinking there would be something else in this.
I hate being single in my life. I'm tired of being single in my life. I'm tired of being hurt.
Well, WPC, DJ Cheese is gonna make it illegal to turn down romantic advances, or at least that's what I've heard on Twitter.
I'm tired of being lonely. No joke. No joke at all. This is serious and honest, and everything will be like going by the book.
Going by the book.
This is serious.
Yet
and
don't call it a comeback, but only because I have no fucking idea if this is him saying, fine, I'm back, or if it's, you miss me, whatever, you're gonna miss me.
No joke. So anyways.
Oh no. Oh! He's spooked by something. There's a really unfortunate, like, you know how the preview thumbnails in the recommended bar on YouTube, you can see the video's runtime, and the runtime often covers up parts of the thumbnail. Check out this, oh, I'm grabbing the background now. Check out this Jimmy Kimmel one. Bro. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with your thumbnails, man.
I will be streaming.
Oh.
Like ASAP. So, yeah.
He's back.
The Asphalt Legends Unite.
He'll be streaming ASAP. He will be streaming ASAP.
You want me back? That's fine. You want me back on YouTube? That's fine.
He's gonna stream. That means he's back.
Alright, so I'll see you there. The Asphalt Legends Unite. It's kind of like Need for Speed.
Yeah, I got you. Don't flick yourself. All right, we captured the Jimmy Kimmel. We stick this bad boy on Twitter, and what we say is, damn, he's really not holding back his criticism of Kamala. Good enough. Anyway, that's all he's done. We had to do our Dark Evil Warrior update. He left, comes back. It's clear what he's saying. He's going to be back ASAP because of you guys. You did it. You saved the day. He's back. I would say streaming ASAP means he's back. Right. We're going to watch some of... I have not... Don't watch the speech. Why not? It's my president. I was going to say, I don't know how much of this we'll watch because it's probably a fucking snooze fest. Am I really going to watch... Okay, look, I'll save it for the end. Fine. I've got the Kamala concession speech. I've got Joe Biden Heiling the Fuhrer in the thumbnail. Okay, we'll watch Biden. The thumbnail's drawn me in. And then we'll go back in time and then forwards in time. And then back in time and then forwards in time. And then stay forwards in time, perhaps. Just look at bits and pieces, whatever. It's not formal here. Okay? It's kind of a loose space. It's the gayest thing I've ever said. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've got a game brain. I can't play video games because it fucks up my brain. All I'm thinking about is upgrading my piggy bank. That's not a thing you do in the game I play. Fucking whatever. Alright. Joe Biden addresses nation from White House after Trump's election win. Oh. Something just came into my mind, though. Have you seen the guys on Twitter who, they're talking about how there was one guy in particular who was like, I know in my heart, I know in my gut, this was rigged, this is impossible. They're like, where did 20 million voters go? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I keep telling them, you know what you have to do. January 6th, it's your turn. And they're like, no. No real American would ever do that. What the fuck do you mean? You think foreign entities are installing a dictator, and you think it's like un-American to violently oppose that? You're just gonna like kvetch about it on Twitter. What the fuck? I don't know if are they cowards or do they not believe it? Because I always think about this with people who are like, oh, well, I'm an anti-fascist, kill Nazis. Well, how many have you fucking killed? You're not killing anyone. Why not? If you believe they're like Nazis, neo-Nazis doing a hostile takeover of the world or your nation, why aren't you killing them? Andy Pants, on the other side, the fucking pedos are at the high levels of game studios. Satanic pedos corrupting the youth. Why aren't you killing them, bro? I don't think you believe they are that if you're not plotting to kill them all. Stuff like that. I don't know. To be clear, I'm not planning to kill anyone because I don't believe these things. But if I did, I certainly would plan some sort of assassinations. But I'm not! And I don't. Don't hurt me, Twitch admins. Alright. Oh.
Thank you. Please. Thank you. Please. Thank you. Good to see you.
Stop clapping! You're overwhelming him. He's getting overloaded. Stop. Can't you see? He's screwing his eyes up. He can't handle all the senses being overwhelmed.
Cabinet and staff together here.
Stop making loud noises. He's going to run away and hide under a cushion. Go under the ottoman.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's good to see you all, particularly.
Like, respect. If I were in his position, I'd tell him to fucking stop. It's annoying. Stop clapping.
Good to see my granddaughter sitting in.
That's presidential grit. Is it the granddaughter that he sniffs?
It's good to see you all, particularly good to see my granddaughter sitting in the front row here. Hi, Finn. How are you, honey? For over 200 years, America has carried on the greatest experiment in self-government in the history of the world. And that's not hyperbole, that's a fact. We're the people. The people vote and choose their own leaders, and they do it peacefully. And we're in a democracy. The will of the people always prevails. Yesterday, I spoke with President-elect Trump to congratulate him on his victory. And I assured him that I'd direct my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful.
I'd suggest there are some, issues.
Peaceful and
I mean, like, he's talking about it like it's a direct democracy or something, but fine.
Orderly transition. That's what the American people deserve. Yesterday, I also spoke with Vice President Harris. She's been a partner and a public servant. She ran an inspiring campaign, and everyone got to see something.
Can we get a fact check? False. No one was inspired.
That I learned early on to respect so much. Her character. She has a backbone like a ramrod. She has great character, true character. She gave her whole heart.
She's got fused vertebrae.
And effort. And she and her entire team should be proud of the campaign they ran. You know, the struggle for the soul of America, since our very founding.
My favorite was when it was coming up. It was coming up to the 5th, and the social media just started going, "Guys, we're totally gonna fucking just legalize weed immediately. Vote, 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 vote."
Has always been an ongoing debate and still vital today. I know for some people, it's a time for victory, to state the obvious. For others, it's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests.
Nice Tim Buckley reference.
It's a time of loss. Campaigns are contests of competing visions.
Nah, gang, she would have put through the dude weed executive order.
The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made. I've said many times, you can't love your country only when you win. You can't
False.
love your neighbor only when you agree. Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans.
You also have to love me when you don't want to.
Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted, win or lose. I also hope we can restore the respect for all our election workers who busted their necks and took risks at the outset.
Stop this. Joe needs to stop this. I need a flipped January 6th. I need a flipped J6th.
We should thank them. Thank them for staffing voting sites, counting the votes, protecting the very integrity of the election. Many of them are volunteers who do it simply out of love for their country.
Love for the game.
And as they did their duty as citizens, I will do my duty as president. I'll fulfill my oath, and I will honor the Constitution.
Do my duty.
On January 20th.
Don't you pre-watch this? Fuck no. This is free shit. People will watch these speeches 100 times in a row. I don't even need to say anything. God tier.
We'll have a peaceful transfer of power here in America. To all our incredible staff, supporters, cabinet members, all the people who've been hanging out with me for the last 4 years, God love you, as my mother would say. Thank you so much. You put so much into the past 4 years. I know it's a difficult time. You're hurting. I hear you and I see you. But don't forget. Don't forget all that we accomplished. It's been a historic
Don't forget all that Trump can erase.
presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done, what you've done. A presidency for all Americans. Much of the work we...
I just played some video games. Well, no, I didn't play video games. Well, okay, over this full 4 years, I played video games somewhat. All we've done, I simply seethed as an expat. I just did it. My relationship with the US government is merely seething over the Foreign Accounts Tax Compliance Act. That's my relationship.
we've done is already being felt by the American people, but the vast majority of it will not be felt over the next 10 years. We have legislation we passed that's just only now just really kicking in. We're going to see over $1 trillion worth of infrastructure work done, changing people's lives in rural communities and communities that are in real difficulty, because it takes time to get it done.
This is I think this can be read as cope. It's like, fucking, look, it just takes time, you idiots. We care about you. You should have voted for us. There's just like a time delay.
And so much more. It's going to take time. But it's there. The road ahead is clear, assuming we sustain it. There's so much we can get done. And we'll get.
The best is anything he's put in motion, if it turns out well and it hits under Trump, it's Trump's.
Get done based on the way the legislation was passed. And it's truly historic. You know, we're leaving behind the strongest economy in the world. I know people are still hurting, but things are changing rapidly. Together, we've changed America for the better. Now we have 74 days to finish the term, our term. Let's make every day count. That's the responsibility we have.
Why is he talking like an Instagram whore?
To the
What's
American
happening?
people. Look, folks, you all know it in your lives. Setbacks are unavoidable.
You know, folks, 74 days to live, to laugh, to love.
But giving up is unforgivable. Setbacks are
Under our new legislation, you still have 74 days to abort me.
unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. We all get knocked down. But the measure of our character, as my dad would say, is how quickly we get back up.
Joe, if you get knocked down, you're never walking again.
A defeat does not mean we are defeated.
Don't use this,
We lost this battle. The America of your dreams is calling for you to get back up.
You know, it's like my pa always said, you get knocked down, your hip shatters into 1,000 pieces and cuts your artery open.
That's the story of America for over 240 years and counting. It's a story for all of us, not just some of us. The American experiment endures. We're going to be okay, but we need to stay
We're
engaged.
gonna be okay.
We need to keep going. And above all, we need to keep the faith. I'm so proud to have worked with all of you. I really mean it. I sincerely mean it. God bless you all. God bless America. And may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Pretty solid performance in terms of not stuttering, not stumbling. Yeah. What people are saying. Maybe it's just having some time with the stress off. Behave in the Discord or I will Holocaust you. Your daily reminder, your weekly reminder. If you're naughty in the Discord, I'll keep a tally. You do it enough times to annoy me, I'll just cut your dick off. We're gonna look at a Vosh video because I've been told it's nice to look at. There's a pre and there's a post. But there was a Twitter thread as well that I wanted to check. And I don't spoil things. So, reminder, everything we look at might just be boring garbage. But that's the risk with me. I'm a gambler. I like gambling. Who should be leftist Joe Rogan? Isn't that James Corden? Give me a second to log in. Off screen. Did I see Jimmy Kimmel cry like a little girl?
Inquisitor Media fed the streamer a
No.
2-pound Superberry. Did you see Jimmy Kimmel cry like a little girl?
Jimmy Kibbles. For realsies? Or as part of a bit? Motherfucker, I'm typing my password wrong. I typed it right! We're fucking in! Okay. This individual called Aram. White women on all platforms upset with black women for saying we're stepping back and letting you handle y'all's business. No need to be upset, as Miss Cookie says in this video. It's clear you have the numbers to fight your own battles. You're upset we won't be taking the hits anymore for you. This position's weird. The white women voting for Trump won. They got what they wanted. They didn't lose. Aha, thank you for the Jimmy link. Sort your shit out. They did. They supported Trump, dog. I don't understand this perspective. We're gonna let you... We didn't get the outcome we wanted. We're gonna put even less effort in with our smaller numbers. And then you'll see they want that. As a group overall, that's exactly what they want. And there's an amazing fucking tweet underneath it. But we have Jimmy Kibbles. Juanita Broderick. Cigar lady. Anyway. Bam.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For
that sounds real-ish.
healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free.
No, it's godlike for journalism. Yo, the papers are printing money now.
Speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in
I think it's always a terrible night to be poor.
Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth.
It was a horrible night for Ukraine. Zelensky was forced to immediately suck Trump's cock on Twitter. Just immediately forced to throat the Toad from Super Mario-esque chode. Just instantly.
And democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who...
Terrible night for democracy. The candidate that shouldn't have been allowed to win. Won.
Voted against him, and guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet. Let's be honest, it was a terrible night.
Terrible night to have a curse. Alright. I'm interested in what these videos are going to be. Will BreadTube come back? Maybe. We'll see what goes on with ContraPoints. We'll see. Oh, can you see the thing on the screen? Oh, we have a spoiler for the tweet underneath that I thought was amazing, but it's fine. Let's go.
Me, and this co-worker is a white woman, and she was so upset, and she asked me, why are black women opting out for the next 4 years?
Opting out?
And so I just looked at her and I said, let me try to explain it as simple as possible.
All right. I'm not aware of this. Is this a thing? Like, hashtag blackout? It's our new protest of white women. It's called hashtag blacks out. It's where we as black women opt out for 4 years.
There's a call to war. Black women get a call for battle. Black women come together as a collective. They come up with a before battle plan, a during battle plan, and an after battle plan as a collective. Once Black women get themselves together as a collective, then they call in other communities. They discuss the before, the during, and the after. They discuss all three plans with them. Everybody is in agreement. The day of war comes. Black women stand on the front line.
Stand on the front line. Did they get like premium service, like cut the queue, express lane at the poll booths? What the fuck do you mean? Were you canvassing? Is that a thing? Is there like minority canvassers as like a huge thing, or what? Oh, okay. This is a good website link. All right. Like I said, we'll be zooming around, finding some bits and pieces. All right, the war plan.
Black women hold up their swords and say charge, and they start running towards the war, towards the battle. Black women look back, and now everybody who said they were going to go to battle with them, now they gone. And Black women are left to fight that battle on their own. 98% of the time, Black women win the battle.
What is being talked about here?
Right? When Black women come out of the battle that they just fought, for everybody's interest, they come out with battle scars, trauma, and some more stuff. And they barely get a thank you.
All you gotta do is fill in a piece of paper, or ideally, convince some other people to fill in a piece of paper. What are you fucking talking about? What is this? I don't know what she's like. I don't even know what her metaphor aligns with. What is this metaphor lining up with? I could get her being like, all these fucking white women were telling us, yo, you better vote in your best interest, you better vote Harris, blah, blah, blah. And then we did it. And now we're going to be under Trump, and they're not going to help us under Trump. I could understand something like that, but it doesn't seem to be what she's saying.
Together as a collective, because based on the polling numbers, the majority ruled and said, this ain't it. We ain't doing that. And they voted differently. So you and your community didn't come together as collective, and they outranked you. So regardless of what you did, the numbers showed what the majority of y'all did. You understand? I said Black women are tired, and based on the numbers, y'all don't need us to help you in your fight. Y'all have the numbers to do it. You proved the polling numbers showed us everything we needed to see.
Let me understand. It's another example of the progressive side being upset that white people are the way they've made them, or a group is the way they've made them. Like, I see these people freaking out like fucking young uneducated men. You mean like the group you grew? Why are there more now? Why increasingly are young men uneducated? You did this, fucking idiot. Why aren't white women all one cohesive group that thinks the same?
The polling numbers showed who needs our help and who doesn't need our help. Now, I get it, what you did, but your community as a collective outranked you. Black women are tired. So now that we see, the evidence has shown us, y'all don't need us to help you fight. Now, we going on vacation.
Did I see the left pandering to young men? Yes. And now I see a bunch of people going, well, guess it turns out we do need to fucking psyop young men. Great, you've got a billion pieces of media put out now where you're like, guess we're gonna have to mind rape them over the next 4 years to make sure they think we're gonna do something for them.
And that's on period. I don't know how else to tell you. And here's the thing. Your feelings shouldn't be hurt. Because if your feelings are hurt because black women are saying, hey, we opting out, you got it, Marco, then you have some more work to do. You have
I don't understand this perspective. Are you not supposed to be the people terrified of the consequences of living under Trump? Minority women in particular, are you not meant to be the one who's terrified? We're opting out. Hey, this is just what they're acting like it's what white women as a group wanted. And they didn't really, they were just going to help you because they're nice. But not being able to put that together with white women voting for Trump as a group. Very strange, confusing perspective.
some more. You need to educate yourself a little bit more. If black women saying, hey, we opting out for the next 4 years bothers you,
The more educated you are, the more votes you get, I suppose.
you need to educate yourself just a little bit more. Okay? Now listen. What has happened has happened. And the results say for the next 4 years, this is where we are. All I can do is encourage other communities, come together as a collective, come up with a before, a during, and an after plan, and then fight your fight. Y'all got this?
Please. We need you one more time, sisters. Please. We need a black female-led flipped January 6th. Please. Miss Cookie, we need you on the front lines. Please. With a literal sword, not a metaphorical sword.
But we on vacation. Okay? I love you. Together.
On vacation. Okay, you're gonna stop advocating for yourself, I guess. Okay, cool. Black Pixie responded. Black Pixie. Oh no, wrong one. Hang on. There's such a good tweet. Oh, did the tweet I found? Let's go. Okay, here it is. Here's the one I meant. Blush. Official Blush on Twitter. I presume it's like a 2-follower Dementoid. Yes, it is a 2-follower Dementoid, but the tweet is so good. This was so good, I had to screen record it, and I am definitely sending it to my mother. We are tired. We are done. And not just for the next 4 years. Black women need to come together as a collective, start PACs, create our own political party, finance and run our candidates, and instead of dedicating our lives to the service of others, we need to transition that dedication to our interests and our interests alone. Just remove your entire race from political relevance. Go ahead. The worst thing that could happen is you succeed. It's pretty good. This was spat out, I think by Google or wherever I was looking around. This was spat out. Black women who voted for Harris react to Trump election win. We'll have to see how this goes. Oh no, it doesn't work. They've detected my ad block. Hang on. Scammed. I've been diddled out of what I deserve. Let me see if I can put it in my other browser. Or it's already in my other browser. Let's see if it works in my other browser. Nah, it's just dead. I can't play it. Maybe it's like a geolocation thing. What a shame. Let me search this on YouTube. Maybe they have a mirror there. Yes, they do! It's very short. Oh, we have
Despite Kamala Harris not winning,
we've seen a couple of like well, I've seen a few compilations of absolute freakouts. Maybe we'll find something niche. By going for the more normal ones, the things that are not curated like SJW freakout, maybe we'll find a golden nugget. The risk is you just find a bunch of sand. But sometimes in sifting through sand, you find gold. Who knows?
Despite Kamala Harris not winning, numbers show massive turnout for her from certain groups. One of those, black women voters. An NBC News exit poll of 10 battleground states shows more than 90% of black women voted for Harris. Our Jenna Ray talked with these three women, Dolores, Angelina, and Sabrina. They're reacting to the vice president's loss.
For months.
Did you know that black women actually, by law, have to walk around in groups with rhyming names?
Leading up to the election, we saw black women voters mobilizing across the Cream City.
We operated under one premise that was the American people would not tolerate what Trump was presenting.
Sabrina Jordan.
You fucked up. You fucked up real bad.
Was one of them.
When you're working towards something that you think is important, a cause, it creates a kind of unity.
Unity, women tell me, was felt as they watched the first African-American woman run for president.
That's pushing it even further than calling her black. She can claim political blackness, but she's absolutely not, by any means, African American.
It's amazing, honestly. It was amazing. I didn't think it was something I would be able to see in my lifetime, but it was amazing to see.
But now that the votes are in,
it was really just frustration, a little bit of disbelief.
For some, they say it's the unknown future that's concerning.
From our point of view, it's a change in the way that you live. As a black woman with black and Mexican grandchildren, it's frightening.
What's going to happen with our kids and the reproductive rights for women?
And for others,
Blaxican.
They're trying to keep the faith.
Don't.
Oh, I thought they were going to bring up like a based black woman.
Feel defeated. Just keep the faith because God is still in control. Trump can't do no more than God want him to do. So I'm not worried about it. I put my faith in God, not in man.
In Milwaukee, Jenna Ray.
Okay, but does that suggest you believe God chose Trump? Or does God only moderate Trump's choices? Or does he moderate the situations that led to the election of Trump? Sorry, the anti-Trump position is it's fine because Trump has God's mandate. What? Okay. Of course, ultimately, it's not an argument, it's cope. It's cope. Mild cope, like I said. Thank you, Nicandros. We're panning for gold. You don't always find it. Very mild. Let's check in on the whiteoids. They're alting. All over the nation, the white women are alting.
I am still processing it. It has been extremely disheartening, to be quite honest. I'm just so proud of our vice president and the campaign that she's run. We've all worked very hard. I was really hoping that the results would be different. And just trying to deal with the heartbreak, but still maintaining hope and that joy that she spoke about so often on the campaign.
A lot of crying. I haven't slept much.
Kamala Harris introduced me to the power of joy.
A lot of thoughts going through my mind. But the one thing that's been persistent and consistent is the fact that I got invited back here to hear her speech. And just like she's been our champion and she's been fighting for us, I said I'm going to show up and show my support, because as black women, we need to keep supporting
Please, cool it with the parasocial behavior, okay?
each other, whether we're
She's not a Minecraft YouTuber. She's the vice president.
winning or losing. And so just like she's been fighting for us, I'm going to continue to support her and fight for her.
I don't blame Kamala.
She needs to never change. In fact, it's everyone else who needs to change.
I think she ran in this short amount of time a pretty great campaign. She was...
How do you measure how great a campaign is, if not by its outcome?
Really...
Like how much you like it doesn't matter.
Great on stage. She was really great at showing people who she is and what she believes.
I think a lot of voters, men in particular, have a challenge with women leading at the highest level. It's ludicrous, but that's a part of the reality. But we're very, very proud of the vice president.
It is really hard to be led by a woman in the US because no one will vote for them. They will lose every time. Anyway. What should we peep next? I wonder what Jonathan Pye's take will be. Depressing yet predictable.
I'm not having a liberal meltdown. Yeah, I'm just disappointed. I'm not having a liberal meltdown. Yeah, I'm just disappointed Trump won, right? I'm sure I'll get over it. It's hardly a meltdown, is it? I'm not thinking of hanging Mike Pence or taking a shit on the Speaker of the House's desk. It's hardly a proper meltdown, is it? Didn't he do well? Eh? First time round, he shocked the world. This time round, it was all but inevitable. He has been given, as he says, a powerful mandate, a conclusive cross-demographic coalition, proving once again that just relying on the vote of city-dwelling, latte-swilling liberal women doesn't win elections. One of the Democrats' final TV adverts was directly to women, and
He's too balanced, it's not fun. He's too balanced, it's not fun. Alright. I don't want balance. We're going straight to Vosh. We're going straight to Vosh. Pye, I figured would not be a freak out, but I figured it was worth peeping at. He's being his usual, like, balanced self. Yes, just because you're a comedian doesn't mean you can't go dementoid or something.
If I did a tally, and I'm not going to, probably like the number one question that I... If I did a tally, and I'm not going to, probably like the number one question that I get asked is, what do we do if Trump wins?
This is enemy research. We're gonna learn the strategy of the Voshites. They just put it out there on the internet. They tell you what they're gonna do. Here's how we're gonna trick young men. Here's how we're gonna trick poor people. They just say it. They just say it. You know what else they just say? What's Sean Head's owner's name? On Twitter? Did I vote? I wrote in Hitler, which I think it just gets counted for Trump. You mean her husband? Yes. What's he called on Twitter? He posted a clip. Aha, eudaimonia. Yes. There's a nice little Vosh clip this fellow posted. The shit they will just say while fantasizing about being strategists, while talking about plans. They'll tell you what they're planning, and they'll say shit like this.
I wouldn't be surprised if the median income of the Republican voter lower than that of the Democrat voter at this point. Not mean, but median. They are the party of the working class because the working class is largely stupid, uneducated, and highly susceptible to propaganda. I wouldn't be...
You can't say it! Hey, we're gonna pull you over to our side. By the way, my perspective on you is that you're a fucking retard who believe anything you're pandered to with. You can't say it, bro. I mean, you can't say it and get results.
You know, and I understand why people ask me that, as annoying as it is for me to answer, because...
Research, okay? Education. Here is what we do following Trump's inauguration.
You're worried. And I'm worried too. You know, I think it's a valid thing to be concerned about. I can't see the future. And if I'm going to give you a full spiel on what I think will happen, it'll be in the form of like a YouTube video and not a 7-page long email response. And here I am making the YouTube video. Back in 2020, right before the election, I did the same thing. What if Trump wins? What if Biden wins?
It's me.
Here I am doing it again. It's been 4 years. Isn't that crazy? It's been 4 years! And everything has stayed the same or gotten worse. For the most.
Almost like you've been in a crystal for 4 years. Trump was already the president. You'd just been let out for his 3rd term so that you wouldn't notice.
Most part, you know, the NLRB's done some good stuff under Biden. But apart from that, that's how life be. So what if Trump wins? Okay, so in this scenario, Donald Trump has won either because he won the Electoral College or because following a period of instability after the election, he and, you know, the Supreme Court, whatever, like, you know, through legal shenanigans, he was able to seize victory from the jaws of defeat, and now, like, we're all malding, we're very mad, and he's going to be president. So Donald Trump mentally is cooked.
It's a bit further. It's the first one and then some.
He's sundowning, he has dementia, I assume. He's not one with agency, right? He is a puppet. Now, most presidents are to a large extent puppets, right? Like, when you're the head of state of a country this large and powerful, you are beholden to the interests of so many people and institutions. You aren't just like making decisions yourself. You know, everything is getting back.
Kanye pulls the strings.
Checked. Everything is getting lobbied. Everything is getting consulted beforehand. It's just how the game is played. It's unfortunate. It's undemocratic in a lot of respects, but it's also how things work. Donald Trump is not pulling his own strings, so to speak. In reality, there are groups of people who are using Donald Trump as a charismatic figurehead because they want power themselves. It's a lot of different groups. You have a large contingent of the military industrial.
Nicandros, you got to understand. Democracy is when a figure is voted into power and given just unilateral control over everything. All right? That's democracy, to be clear. You haven't updated your understanding.
Complex, which tends to align itself with, let's say, more militarily inclined leadership. You have Christian evangelicals who want you dead, more or less. The broader, like...
Whatever happened with the like, Israel doomsday cult? Are those guys still talking about stuff? Or are people still talking about that?
Like, reactionary base in this country, evangelical or otherwise, a lot of them are acting out of a desire to impose a new order on this country. I've talked at length about what that order looks like and what it's in.
Do you remember when everyone was going, Trump believes in a Christian fundamentalist doomsday prophecy and he wants to bring about the end of the world through support of Israel? Did that go away? Did people just stop saying that? I haven't seen it in a while.
Inspired by in other videos, but the basic gist of it is, I think that for the most part, it is a fascist political will that is at a populist level built from men who feel sexual insecurity. I think that's how most fascism crops up, really. You have men who feel anxious and like they are no longer needed in the modern world. There are narratives spread of like foreigners taking their jobs, taking their women. They're like entitled to a given life that has been robbed of them by some nefarious group. You know, usually they say like it's the Jews or the deep state or feminazis. There's a lot of stuff. It's complicated, but they're fascists. They want Trump to win because
That sounds like an oversimplified narrative to me versus it being complicated, but okay.
If he does, that gives them permission to the permission and power to begin like restructuring the country to their desired image. And that would not look good for you or even for them, by the way. Fascism doesn't tend to work out well for the fascists either. You know, it inevitably burns itself out and a lot of people are hurt or killed in the process. It's not like, you know, this process makes life better for the average like white guy or whatever. It's just they tend to be the ones suckered into it, you know.
You say that now, but you too will be entitled to a state mandated GF.
You've got like the mad like incel types online who genuinely think that
you sign up, sort of like signing up for like Medicare or something, and then a little crystal shows up at your house and you only have to let her out when you want to talk to her.
Liberals want to, you know, import the third world to impregnate all the beautiful white women they think ought to be their girlfriend or something. It sounds silly, but so is fascism. What do you want?
People are talking about importing the third world all the fucking time, but it's normally in conversations about tilting, you know, locking states in by naturalizing them and going, hey, look, a fucking bajillion people we brought in can vote now. That's the main narrative they're running on, isn't it?
For me, the Bush.
It's not quite as crude as the tribe's gonna come and ooga booga take my women.
Bourgeoisie as a class are generally aligned towards fascism in an era of populism where people are increasingly distrustful of institutions. People want to be fed messages that confirm their populist beliefs, their critical eye towards institutions. After 2008, you know, you have the financial crisis, you have the subprime mortgage crisis, you have like rising inflation now, you have this feeling of job insecurity.
By the way, how do you think Trump's promised transparency is going to go? One, do you think it's going to be above board? And two, do you think it will increase or decrease trust in institutions?
Because of
how about short term versus long term?
The gig economy and because of the way the modern globalized like economic superstructure functions, a lot of people feel like life right now is fragile and tenuous and bureaucratic and alienating and unconcerned with their needs. So they're populist. They want fundamental changes. Liberals tend to be bad at promising fundamental changes because they are very institutionally inclined. Fascists love to promise sweeping changes. Will they actually do them? Sometimes, you know. Hitler talked a big game about workers' rights and dismantling, you know, autocratic and oppressive corporations when he was not in power. And then when he was in power, man loved big business. So, you know, people are often, you know, Hitler, when he's out of power, all big.
You want to do a parallel? I'm surprised more people don't use the word cronies or cronyism.
Big business is Jewish and it's screwing the average German over. Hitler, when he is in power, actually big business is great. You know, get along with the bourgeoisie. They have your best in.
Is this a dog whistle? No, not a dog. Like, is he painting a position? Note he's saying this following discussion of all the strings connected to people. So, in this video is a narrative that Hitler was subverted by Jews. He may not have meant to put across that message. He might have, like, a small amount of RAM. But stating this immediately following your emphasis on how many strings people get attached to them. Or how many strings leaders get attached to them.
Interests at heart. They don't have your best interests at heart, folks. They don't, trust me. So the bourgeoisie also tend to align with right-leaning populism because left-leaning populism is usually critical of capitalism as
the expert is in the chat. Card posting says, I think it might be a dog whistle, yeah.
An institution, and businesses don't like it when countries become critical of capitalism because then you start nationalizing industry and yeah, it's a whole rigmarole, right? So these are the groups that Donald Trump is being puppeted by. And I'm speaking very generally here. I'm not trying to speak conspiratorially. You know, the idea of a president being beholden to interests is not new and not specific to Trump. It is just important in my mind to understand.
I wouldn't be surprised if Trump has some fucking super sketchy personal strings.
Stand
Wouldn't exactly shock me.
where this is all coming from. You know, Trump has been making a lot of wild claims lately, like a flat 20% tariff on the entire world. I don't think he's actually going to do that because it would be very bad for the economy if he did so. And so much of his support comes from the bourgeoisie, the capital interests, big business, that it would be strange for them to pressure Donald Trump into implementing a policy that would hurt their businesses very badly. It might benefit some businesses, but as a class, the bourgeoisie tend to prefer free trade, which is for the most part what American economic policy is leaned into. So I think that Trump is just basically saying shit, and whatever like eccentric, irrational policies and suggestions we get from him are just a consequence of him being an imperfect puppet. He's not like J.D. Vance. You know, he's not like Ron DeSantis. You know, he's not like a little corpo suit you can stuff a hand up into and manipulate like a puppet. Donald Trump is egotistical and narcissistic and probably very difficult to rein in. So even though he's being effectively used as a puppet, he's kind of blabbing. You know, it's not a perfect process, which is why J.D. Vance is the VP pick. He can be controlled, which is why Fox News and a bunch of other right-leaning institutions were leaning in with DeSantis for a while because he can be easily controlled. Trump, not so much. Mostly
Bush is making Trump sound insanely based.
Because he's self-absorbed, not because he's like willfully opposed to the idea of being controlled by.
He's like, mostly, I don't give a fuck as an expat. This is making Trump sound cool as hell.
Big business, which he has never really shied away from. With all that in mind, what happens if Trump wins? Well, nothing good. I'm very sorry. I do think a lot of the country would be tanked. I don't think it will be as bad as might be implied by a lot of what Trump and his supporters have said. This is for a few reasons. First of all, a lot of the dismantling that you can do to this country would be detrimental to the extent that it would impact the bottom line for global business. And I really just don't think they're going to be allowed to do that. Remember that historic.
What's Vosh going to say specifically about Trump's tariff hype? We're talking about global business. Think it's going to be all bullshit?
Reactionary politics have been used as a
Project 2025 says he's going to shut down all fast food joints besides McDonald's. You know what? No, I wouldn't be okay with that. I wouldn't be okay with that. I need KFC. I need it! Especially when the KFC is run by women. My experience, KFC with like a male manager, fucking shit. When the lady's there, when the like sort of pissed off looking grumpy lady is in charge, shit comes out perfect.
Red herring to get voters to vote against their economic interests. In the early 1900s, when factory workers were leaning into unionizing, the robber barons who owned those factories, the capital class then, pushed racist propaganda to split the white union workers and the black union workers so they would distrust each other rather than unifying against the business owner. We do this today with Latin immigrants from Central and Latin America, Mexico and stuff. We do the exact same thing. Rather than uniting against the autocratic business practices of the owners in our agricultural industry or our factories, we fear the undocumented immigrant or just a documented immigrant coming in and taking our job. If your wages go down, it is not because immigrants came in, it is because your wages were lowered by the guy who employs you. It's like that's the person you should be focusing your antagonism against. Nobody forced the person above you to lower your wages. They chose to do so they could make more money. It's not the fault of any immigrants coming in. And there are studies to back this.
Ooh. This is a funny way to look at it. What would the consequences of simply not doing that? Even on the immigrants. I don't think you just end up with a clean, they could just not do it.
But that's how reactionary politics are applied.
You're competing for a number of jobs. It's a game. It's a game. It's not just do the right thing. There's a game being played. You can't just look at it in those terms. You have to consider it from like a sort of game theory lens.
To get people to vote against their own economic interests. That's why you have Trump voters who make like $24,000 a year who will vote.
Because let's say they just go, hey, raise wages, cool, and not hire immigrants, right? Oh, hire immigrants, I'm competing with them. In what sense have I not lost opportunity by letting them in and letting them being part of the competition pool?
For Trump, who is anti-union, you know, even though that very much is against their interest, because they're being fed narratives.
Of course I wouldn't, because I'm a based self-employed, but
about how, well, in actuality, preventing the Mexicans would be, you know, even more to their interest. It's always been a red herring. So the modern day Republican Party is kind of like a mix of that strategy, disingenuous reaction.
Hypothetically, Nicandros, you go, well, you have more people in, the more people want more services you provide more, there are more jobs, da-da-da-da-da-da. Is efficiency increasing or decreasing?
Reactionary politicking is a way to front pro-business policy, and genuine fascist, we are reactionaries for the sake of being reactionary. To the fascist, being pro-business is good, but it's a secondary consideration to hurting you. Fascism, the distinction between the in-group and the out-group, this is something that can only...
Been too long since you gave a shit, brother. I've never given a shit. We're just shooting the shit here, okay?
Really be real.
Anything dumb Vosh says in any of this, I'll say something 10 times dumber by the end. Don't worry.
Affirmed through suffering and ostracization. As a political program, it is one that is not only built on suffering, it mandates it. You can't have fascism in like a manner applied where
just wait until wait until you're fully competing with fucking machines. Will it then be machines taking your job? Hey, it's not a fucking Roomba taking your job. It's the employer taking it away by not, you know, like paying you essentially welfare by not having better service. Yeah. It's the employer taking your job away by choosing to have robots instead. Okay, man? They should deliberately have a worse service and be less efficient.
Everyone is living a good life and being...
So you can exist in like a pretend economy. That's
given a good shot. Like the in-group, out-group distinction is literally what produces this. It's what makes the difference. So even if a program hurts everyone, as long as it hurts the out-group more, that's beneficial to the fascist. The Republican Party is...
It's a valid build, okay? You get an item that applies burn to both yourself and the opponent. So long as they're not tooled up
a
to
mix
deal with
of
the
both.
burn, you will win out in the end.
The sincerely reactionary and the insincerely reactionary. In practice, how much of a difference does it make if they're willing to work together? Not too much, but I think it's worth focusing on the distinction and that line, because the more the Republican Party leans into the reactionary for the sake of reactionary side of things, the more Trump's victory would really...
You know, like, the more they're actually conservative?
Suck. If we assume the Republican Party is mostly still adhering to the old doctrine, we will front reactionary politics to make it easier to get people to vote for pro-business policies, Trump's 4 years will suck, but the main priority will be business as usual. Not that different, really, from, like, a neocon presidency, but done more incompetently and with a lot more media bluster and virtue signaling about how much, minority groups are hurting the country. If the Republican Party leans more into fascist and reactionary for reactionary's sake, your ass is going to the camps, my friends.
Let's go! Butlins! Free vacation! You'll be on vacation for the rest of your life.
Sorry. Not really. No, I am sorry. I'm saying not really to the camps thing. I mean, maybe. Like, Donald Trump is pledging to deport 20 million, 25 million, 50 trillion people. He's saying that he'll deport.
Yeah, I agree with the speed up. I was doing hold space, but hold space is a little bit too fast for me, maybe.
Even legal immigrants. This is an insane policy if you care about business outcomes. It would be ruinous to this country. Economically, socially, it's almost impossible to do. We're talking about like a mass...
I have to say, it is pretty boring as well, though.
judges who will skew the results.
Blah, 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 blah. Right. Fine. Whatever. Yappa, 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 yappa. Trump won. Yeah, it was really bad. That's the pre-Trump theory crafting video. Place your bets. Is Vaush going to remain cool and analytical and just be like, just need to figure out how it's going to be, you just got to do what you got to do, here's how things are going to be, you can get through it probably depending on if it's this way, if it's that way, how's it going to be now?
So it wasn't the best election night. You've probably found that out by now. If you're So it wasn't the best election night. You've probably found that out by now. If you're finding out from my video, that's really rough. You've probably already seen. It's probably like omnipresent news-wise. And I'll cut these two. I love you, but I'll cut these two. I'll read every dono. Look, I'm gonna cut the bullshit. It's a really bad result. It's a bad result. It is so bad. People are going to be studying this for decades. Like
the Twitter academics, they're trying to figure out where those 20 million votes went.
People, I think in a lot of ways, this is actually worse than Hillary Clinton's result in 2016. I think that if you ask me right now why it went down this way, ballpark answer.
What's it going to be? Men. Appealing to men. The common line is appealing to men. There's working class, sure. Sure. But that would imply having to appeal to them more. Right? And we've seen that he holds them in utter contempt and like hates them. So maybe he'd resist saying that here. Sexism? Is Vaush's sexismoid? Working class seems likely. I smell men though.
Misogyny.
Okay. Fuck. Yeah, who said sexism? Where is it? The Courageous Link dropped sexism. Who else dropped sexism? Oh, you're in YouTube chat. I can't VIP you. I was going to reward you.
Weakened rhetoric on immigration. That is to say, Democrats stopped pushing back against anti-immigrant sentiment and started kind of adopting it themselves. And a lack of economic populism. They are fighting.
Do you have any info on whether that turned more people off or more people on?
For procedural, institutionalist rhetoric in a world that is populist. That's my just ballpark guess right now. Honest to God, the results here are insane. I'm not, ashamed to admit that my estimations of it were wrong. I think a lot of people's were. That's life. You make plans, God laughs. Your question is, what do we do next? Well, I'm not...
Again, okay. Now that it's happened, this is the real plan. I thought we were going to get the plan in the previous video. We did not get the plan in the previous video. This will be the plan. This will be what they're going to do. It's Vaush's audience and it's Vaush. They're not actually going to do anything. But this is what they're going to pretend they're going to do.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be a rough 4 years. Maybe more than 4 years. It's going to be a rough time. I don't know. I have a whole video on what if Trump wins. I talk at length there. Most of what I said in that video, I think, is still accurate. What might happen, the negatives, the concerns you should have. I think for the most part, the stuff that I said there still applies. I think maybe there are some positive caveats that I didn't discuss in it.
Oh.
I didn't address the possibility that
Hitler's reincarnation has been elected. Here's the silver lining.
Republicans might have an unexpectedly good win, and as a consequence of that, they might dial back some of the more extremist rhetoric that they were using for populist political points because they've gotten what they wanted, and they might get a little more complacent in victory. This actually happens quite often with authoritarian governments, where you have a populist right-wing leader who, you know, promises the world, and by promising the world,
I think it's pretty fucking universal, honestly.
I mean, like a lot of negative.
Uh-oh. Scary pause. It's called politicians, bro.
Negative things. Like bad. You know? And after they win, they dial it back because it's much more sustainable to keep that energy going during the election cycle and not once they're actually in power. Just 1 second. I was being offered McDonald's. It was an uninteresting interruption, but I
Trump is bribing him as we speak. As he speaks, even.
Really appreciate my roommate asking if I wanted some. Honest to God, not a big.
The roommate is a fucking mole. DJ Cheese sends his regards. Here's your McRib.
McDonald's guy, you know, just not a big. It's not. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I like Taco Bell because I'm not racist like you people. People are going to be talking about this loss for a long time. It's pretty bad.
Taco Bell is like a white supremacist chain. Every time, like every bite you take of a food item from Taco Bell is like a spit in the eye of a Mexican, is my understanding.
Whatever ends up happening, though, I'd encourage everyone watching to keep a clear head and an open mind. Things are rarely as bad.
Unfortunately, it's also like shit in the mouth for you, so it's worse. It doesn't balance out.
As they seem, your imagination, your anticipation, your
eating literal diapers to own the Mexicans.
Fear of what is happening is often quite a bit worse than the actuality. Donald Trump's first presidential term was bad, but remember that estimations of its badness, expectations of its badness, fears of its badness were greater than how bad it actually was, and that's not because people overestimated how bad Trump is. He's quite bad. It's because fear usually jumps ahead of reality. You
sent a time-stamped link. Majora's Mask. Okay, I might just watch all of this. Who knows?
A still mind and a not empty. I was gonna say empty head. Honestly, keeping an empty head would probably be to the benefit of your emotion.
The YouTuber shows his true colors. My viewership, please. All the people tuning into this stream, please keep a still mind and an empty head. Everything's gonna be okay. Just keep clicking on the videos. Just keep clicking on the stream. There's a donation link down below. If your wallet is full, that invites thoughts into your head. An empty wallet goes hand in hand with an empty mind. Okay?
Emotional well-being right now, but keep a calm mind. You know, I just know that over the next few months, years maybe, I'm going to have to deal with, and pardon me for the victimizing language here with myself, but sometimes chat does get on my nerves a bit. I'm going to have to deal with people being very upset. They're going to be asking me very emphatically, like, what can I do? What should I do? I don't know what you should do.
How much do you think I have to pay Vosh to get him to say, what should you do? You should do a flipped January 6th. We need to gather the Black Woman Coalition and send them in.
Know what processes you should adopt in order to maximize the likelihood of you making it through this. That you should be calm. That you should befriend your...
Maximize the likelihood of you making it through this. Bro makes it sound like less than half of people are going to survive the next 4 years.
Neighbors. Develop close relations with the people around you. I mean it. Talk to people. Develop a spot nearby. Have people nearby whose phone numbers you know that you can rely on. Familiarize yourself with the laws of your local environment. Honest to God, familiarize yourself.
Familiarize yourself with the laws regarding drawn child pornography in your state.
With the parts of it you don't like as much. The police precinct and the jail. Maybe you'll learn a thing walking out the front or even dipping your head in. Anything special? Anything important? Maybe not. Maybe you don't.
What the hang on, wait, maybe he is gonna call for like a flipped J6. Make sure you know the layout of your local police department. Make sure you know how to get in, clear it, get out really fast. Learn something.
It'll just help you understand. Get out of your bubble. Be calm. Walk the neighborhood. It seems like a lot of this election result coming down on a gender divide. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Men are not sending their best. Well, they sent me.
Gender divide. Is this just going to be the Latino meme? I'm pretty sure by race, like, white women were pretty Trumpoid. The numbers I saw, it was early on though. Maybe it wasn't an accurate depiction, but it wasn't really so much a gender divide, was it?
Apart from me, men aren't sending their best. So you might want to keep that in mind. I don't know. Be lesbian if you're a chick. I don't know.
There was a gender divide among Latino voters, right? In the charts, the graphs I saw were early on. Haven't looked again recently, but that's all I saw.
No, we'll see how this pans out. We'll see how that pans out. Keep your passport updated. Save money. I mean it. If you drink, don't. If you smoke, don't. I mean it. I'm not joking.
Destroy your local brewery. No, 100%. I was going to say, I don't know about Vosh viewers. 100% Vosh viewers are like drinking local craft beer, right? Right? Fuck your local businesses. Destroy them. Cast them into the fire. That's how you'll survive.
I know these little pleasures make life so much easier, but this is really, really the time to try. Again, this isn't a moral judgment. I'm not telling you like, oh, you're a bad person if you drink. No. I am asking you. I am pleading with you sincerely as a person who doesn't know you. Probably some of the people watching this I might know.
Is he talking finance-wise? I presume he's going to talk finance-wise. Don't waste money on things, on frivolous expenses. Or is he going to talk about health-wise? Because if it's about money, you could advocate, like, brew your own shit.
Oh, personally. But
learn how to sterilize things and then brew your own shit.
But it would be in your best interest to save. For what? I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
You know?
Money-wise.
Just saying. And I know it's tempting, but I promise you that drinking yourself into a stupor after a disappointing election result will not actually make you feel better. You will wake up and you will have a headache and you will still be living in a world where that election result happened. You will feel worse.
And you'll wake up in the night and do a huge piss that feels really satisfying. So that's the real benefit of drinking.
I'm just suggesting. People always jump at me when I say this. I'm just trying to give you advice.
My advice, everyone, stop drinking. We're going to need a Muslim coalition. Only a caliphate can stop Trump.
I'll give you more advice like I'm your damn parent. Clean your room. I mean it. You are going to have to, in order for you to get through this, and you will. Statistically speaking, if you're watching this, you will. The vast majority of you will. That's how it is.
There is something annoying here to me. A presumably very financially successful YouTuber talking about, hey, cut out luxuries right now.
4 years is a lot, don't get me wrong, but on a human time scale, a lot happens, a lot changes. People who were born in time to serve for World War I died after the moon landing. Oh, you've got a lot of time ahead of you. You've got a lot of time to make it, a lot of time to work for, a lot of time on the other side after this is over, after things get better. You've got a lot of time to work for so you can see, so you can be well positioned to live through. And in order for you to do that, you might have to enforce a level of self-discipline that you are not previously accustomed to. I mean, waking up early and going to sleep early. I mean, not participating in vices. I mean, saving money. I mean, caring about your posture. I mean, regular walks and exercise. You are going to need to health max. You are going to need...
I wouldn't say that's health maxing. That's just like not being a slob.
Need to be wellness pilled. And I am not just doing this as a way to shoehorn in, you know, oh, you clean your room or whatever.
I'm going to be very rude and suggest that there is a not insignificant portion of people drawn to figures like Vaush for whom some of their greatest fears are related to loss of such a lifestyle. You're asking to them to concede the very thing they want to be protected most in their life. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work.
It's for your benefit, okay? Don't let this tear you as a person apart. You as a person can persist through this. No matter how bad it gets, the majority of you will make it through it.
I'm sorry, I can't get over this being, here's the advice for dealing with a second Trump presidency. Such dire circumstances call for basic advice that you probably know you should be following anyway, but maybe you're choosing not to, and always applies.
So you got to do everything you can to make that happen. Okay? I'm just saying don't give up on it. All right? There are lots of people all around the world who endure worse circumstances than you have up to this point, and what you will endure over the next 4 or however many years. I'm not saying you got it easy. You don't. I'm not
If that's like the key strategy, you've got it easy as fuck. All this shit is gonna make you, like, if you have a huge problem, if you're not walking, like when I was locked away for years and I put on 50 kilograms, I felt like fucking shit when I got away from those circumstances. When I started walking, when I started exercising, when I started doing calisthenics, when I started eating less and then started eating better, despite my handful of health issues I've had, overall, you will just feel way better. Forget about this as like a survival strategy. Yeah, actually, just do it. You will, like, it's not, oh, we will endure. You will literally just feel better. It will make you feel better. It's not a punishment. It's actually good. It can be hard to be motivated to do it, but...
saying that you should be, oh, you know, because kids in Africa are starving, whatever. I'm just saying they do make it work in a lot of cases.
Yeah, Frost. I put on and then dropped 50 kilograms.
There are people in Malaysia right now sitting around a campfire, you know? They
eating laksa from a giant tub on a guy's back. A hawker.
Got their guns propped up against the... Did I say Malaysia? I meant to say Myanmar. All right. I like Taco Bell. That's one plus racism and anti-racism canceling out.
There are people in Appalachia making s'mores.
Like a positron and an electron, you know? Boom. A flash of energy and gone. I meant to say...
I did do it in a pretty unsafe manner, Zara. I find it funny. Like, there are a few things that always make me laugh. Like, for most of my life, I thought during Ramadan Muslims fasted, and then I actually looked into it, and I don't consider it to be a fast at all. And then I learned they eat more on average. Now I have this guy talking about, and it's like, hey, I did Ramadan all the time when I was addicted to playing EverQuest 2. I just didn't eat because I was so absorbed in what I was doing. And then I went on a fucking, like, sicko mode diet to drop the 50 kilograms. Way faster than I should have, but I did it. Get owned, fat. Get owned, fat. And that's just... I just did it. And these guys are preparing themselves to, like, go on a little walk a day or something.
Myanmar. But the point is, they're around... did I say... proton? No, positron. Not a proton, you idiot. A positron is the opposite of an electron. Positron is correct. I was correct. You were wrong. A proton doesn't cancel out again. You said positron, which is correct. Okay.
He's a scientist.
Right now, in Myanmar,
he's an expert on everything paused. I won't question him.
There are some cheery 20-somethings laughing around a campfire, their guns propped up against a wall. They're chanting and cheering. They're doing some stupid little bit. Someone's got a joke. They're doing a Haktua joke. Their life is harder than yours. Lola, campfire? Yeah, a campfire. You know what's going on in Myanmar? You think they're around a stone hearth? You think they got a remote to switch up and down the...
Don't say stone hearth. I've got an urge to play card games. Stop it. Stop it. You're not allowed. Stop it.
Plastic LED lit flames? Google Myanmar.
Some call it Burma.
Then what's a negatron? That's like a Transformers. Shut up. I don't know. I'm gay.
Fair enough.
Including this for posterity. They did laugh at my
Thanks
at my
for telling
bit.
us.
Okay. Just I want that known. I'm not like ranting into the ether here. This is a streamed video. I just don't have chat with. We'll get through this. I know that it's some of the more...
Can we note that there's not going to be any more advice? Ostensibly, the entirety of his advice is stop drinking and walk every now and then.
cynical among you might think that, you know, this position rings hollow from famous multi-billionaire live streamer Vosh, but I promise you, I really do mean it for you. I mean it.
You should eat, you know, just eat a bunch of ramen. Just eat a bunch of ramen. How much could a packet cost? $6?
For all of us. You're going to have to discipline, Max, okay? You're going to have to take good care of yourself. You're going to have to be smart when in a better world, in a better time, you could have gotten away with being more frivolous. You're going to have to be withdrawn in times when maybe being more open would have been better. In a better world, you could have been more open.
Am I remembering incorrectly? Did he not put forward his advice? Connecting more with the community, get involved with the people around you, make more connections? And now he's saying, well, you might have to be more withdrawn from now on.
It's going to ask a lot.
In this period where you're going to have to be more withdrawn, I recommend going out and making as many connections as you can, getting involved in your community. What the fuck?
The world's going to ask a lot of you, and none of it's going to be fair. But you can...
My dad trying to make me clean my room.
And do it. And like everything else, this will pass. And things will get better. On a long enough time scale, the "it's so over" is always followed by the "we're so f***ing back." It's just math.
It's just Trump is so fucking back right now. Yo! The VIP logo on Twitch is a diamond, right? I should set up a little Moobot thing where you can pay channel points to put other people in the crystal. And when you're VIP'd, it puts you into slow mode.
I'll see everyone tomorrow.
Look. We have one more tiny, I presume, Vosh thing. Nicandro sent me a clip that he said is relevant. Something to do with a poll. He sent me
because
a clip
it means
of...
that people who want...
Oh no. Streamed 5 years ago. Let's get this on the stream browser. There is a little poll on screen.
People who want to have children can...
Poll, bottom left. Would you consider your parents abusive / that you grew up in an abusive household?
Opt in to an extent that they feel comfortable with. Oh, Jesus Christ. Most of you guys had an abusive household? Yeah.
Ew. Yuck.
Yes, Father Halford, absolutely. That's not a good meme.
It aligns. However, what proportion of the people answering are answering that way regarding a situation that you or I would not consider abusive?
It also means that people who think they have a lot to contribute to parenting would be able to... What's down here? Nothing was down there. Interested in learning, but actually abusive. Oh, yeah. I'm not even close to being done talking about this. So furthermore, hold on really quickly. Okay.
Nothing else. All right. Well, probably look at this guy for like 2 seconds. This is another one where I don't really know this guy. He has a video called Why I'm Not Worried About the Election. There's a high chance of this being nothing. And then we'll watch the I Give Up on America video.
So the election is this Tuesday, and have you noticed that everyone is worried as hell? Democracy
is literally at stake.
And 2024 is the final battle. That's going to be the big one.
The future of America and the future of civilization is at stake. I mean, we're going to be fully Mad Max, you know?
Okay, I know Elon thinks
You have to say that, though. You have to say it. You can't not say
he's
it.
Furiosa, but he's clearly Immortan Joe. He's even got an army of tattooed idiots who would die to protect him. But
he's this kind of guy. It's just gonna be. It's literally just gonna be torture. So let's learn from Oluranati. Comments are turned off, which is perhaps the main thing that drew me in. Comments off. Donald Trump won, and America will regret it. Comments are turned off.
Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election. And I know that many people will want me to solely blame Kamala Harris's campaign strategy or the Democrats as a party. But frankly, you cannot convince me that a nation of people who cannot be convinced not to vote for a white supremacist, promising to destroy their rights, every marginalized community, and their entire...
Destroy my rights, Daddy Trump! Let's go! I tuned in, Nicandros, to Chud looking at that, but I was listening to it for like 20 minutes with no context. I don't know what the key thing is.
Their democracy is without blame, that they are not responsible for their choices.
Go on. Key cell. I will hold up Medusa's head.
The consequences that will follow. I want to make this brief because frankly, it's clear to me that I have been wasting my breath trying to warn Americans of the dangers of a Trump administration because Trump himself told them what those dangers were. He didn't run on policy. He didn't promise to build anything. Instead, he promised to tear this nation apart, to break things down. To
keep our squirrels safe.
openly promised us police violence, total police immunity, not only the deportation and abuse of undocumented immigrants.
Did he promise us total police immunity? Damn.
But to
maybe I will move back and become a cop.
Reverse naturalization for immigrants who became U.S. citizens already. He promised to ban abortion nationwide, to dismantle the EPA, the Department of Education. He promised.
I think they specifically shied away from that. Did they not?
To ban our history, to ban books, to keep the American public even dumber than apparently more than 64 million Americans already are. Because,
like, people on his side were upset with their commentary on it.
The majority of this country's voters voted for him. Understand this. Donald Trump did not just win the Electoral College. He won the popular vote. And I would argue he won it by a landslide. For years, I have listened to Americans insist that Hillary Clinton is to blame for losing the 2016 election to Donald Trump. That she was too unlikable. That she called Trump voters deplorables. That she didn't campaign enough in the swing states. And for years, I have thought how ridiculous a nation must be to insist it made perfect sense to elect a white supremacist, sexist, xenophobic, racist, stupid ass bigot who told us exactly who he was because the woman.
Rather that than someone who openly despises me. It's that simple. Does this lady have videos about representation by any chance? Oh god. Oh god, oh fuck, we're not looking at that. Oh, she does like a podcast, a group podcast? Okay. Whatever.
And he ran against wasn't likable enough, that she didn't campaign hard enough. All the while I have thought that if it's an uphill battle for anyone to beat a white
I mean, Trump came out as bisexual, you're right.
Supremacists, they are far more qualified than, for any reason, it is an indictment on the nation. But that's never what I've said, because I have always chosen to try to be mindful about how I discuss U.S. elections whose results totally upend my life. And I
Coward.
knew, not just based on that election, or the general voting patterns of each demographic in this country, or the bigoted discourse that's been suffocating us all for 3 election cycles now, but by my lived experience as a black woman.
Lived experience. Let's go. Freudian slip.
This deeply racist and sexist country that refused to elect a white woman would not elect a black woman. I knew that. And I voiced that the moment Joe Biden dropped out and Kamala Harris became the nominee. But I allowed people to muscle me into believing America isn't who I've always known it to be, and who it continues to show me it is. I listened to people tell me that I was being too cynical to believe she would have an impossible hill to climb.
The trick is, Nick Andros, the trick is, for a lot of people, the forbidden nature of such relationships is exciting. It's like, you get like fetishistic support of reactionary figures. Because they're like, man, I wish being gay was illegal again. That would be so hot.
Believe that white women would never vote for her no matter what they told you. That this country hates black women. That it hates immigrants. And that it hates Kamala Harris not for who she is, but what she is. But people wanted her to win. We wanted her to win. They wanted to believe she could win. They wanted to feel optimistic, which required them to believe America was not America. So they convinced themselves.
What's the suggestion here, though? Is there going to be a suggestion? We should have been totally black-pilled 24/7. We should have just been totally defeated and assumed a loss. You know what? Should have just handed it to Trump.
Kamala Harris could win if she did X, Y, Z. If she ran a particular kind of campaign. If she was more left. If she was less left. If she laughed less. If she talked more. The list goes on. And people were so convinced. I let them sell me a dream I knew was a mirage. I let people muscle me into forgetting the most important truth about racism and misogyny, which is that it doesn't care about truth. It does not care about qualifications. It does not care about fair. The truth is, there is nothing Kamala Harris could have done to win that election. I knew it when she became the nominee, and I'm more sure than ever before. Many leftists want to believe and will continue to argue tooth and nail that she did not win because she wasn't left enough, because she was too centrist, because of her stance on Gaza.
Yeah, correct. The true leftoid weirdos who are like, no, they need to be more niche and wacko. No.
The evidence simply does not reflect this. First of all, maybe if only Kamala Harris lost, you could choose to ignore all the data that explicitly told us that Americans believed Kamala Harris and the Democrats were too liberal, which is something they likely believed not because of Kamala Harris's actual stances or policy agenda, but simply because she's a black woman. But it wasn't just Kamala Harris who lost.
Hold on. I've never heard this before. This is fresh. The leftoids think she's not far left enough because she's black? Well, politically black.
Ignore all the data that explicitly told us that Americans believed Kamala Harris and the Democrats were too liberal, which is something they likely believed not because of Kamala Harris's actual stances or policy agenda, but simply because she's a black woman.
Wait, hang on, wait. We were just talking about the leftoid take on it. Now she's talking about Americans overall. So she's no longer talking about the leftoid, presumably, and thinking that... Is she using liberal interchangeable with left?
But it wasn't just Kamala Harris who lost.
I thought she was saying the leftoids thought she was not far left enough, as in too liberal, because of her race. Okay, but she's being an Americoid.
It's not even just that the Democrats are projected to lose the Senate and the House, but progressive legislation on the ballot failed all over the country. From Florida to California failed. The entire country moved to the far right. Some left.
Do you want to talk about race? I think Kamala talking about reparations was probably a bigger problem for her than anyone seems to be talking about right now that I've looked at.
Leftists will choose to believe that the entire country moving to the far right, shooting down progressive legislation and candidates nationwide, and explicitly declaring that the Democratic candidate was too left is proof that the candidate lost because she didn't openly pander to the far left enough. Many of whom declared time and time again that they...
Like, I'm surprised more people aren't bringing that up. Maybe they are and I'm just not seeing them, but...
wouldn't vote for a Democrat under any circumstances because they were going to break the duopoly, get the Greens to 5%, teach the Democrats a lesson on Gaza, vote their conscience, vote their heart, not vote at all because both parties are the same and fascism is already here. Some leftists will choose to believe this outcome is the result of Gaza and that this outcome proves that the Democrats would have won had they listened to the furthest left. But the data does not support this. Jill Stein did not win 5%. She didn't even win 2%, not in Michigan or anywhere else. The exit polls indicated what many already knew, and it's that Americans care about domestic issues far more.
But also, this is also a reason to not even really think about what the far leftoids are saying, right? She doesn't even need to care about it. What difference would it have made if all of the far leftoids had been on board?
More than they care about foreign policy or what happens abroad. They voted on economy and their flatly incorrect belief that Trump would be better on the economy, despite economist after economist assuring us all that Trump...
The real answer, those 20 million votes evaporated because everyone... Fucking The Bazaar was released and everyone was playing it and... Oh shit, I forgot to vote.
Trump will destroy the economy. And that he would suppress the marginalized groups they've grown sick of hearing from. Leftists will say that Democrats have no one to blame for the results of this election but themselves. But that implies that it's Democrats who lost something tonight. But it's all of us who lost. We will lose our rights. And many of us will lose our lives. You are not done.
By all of us, you mean literally everyone? I presume she's making that point. But
dunking on the Dems. You are dunking on us. The joke is on us.
Holy shit, that's a good clip. Holy fuck. Oh my, I'm so glad I kept watching this video.
Lost. We will lose our rights. And many of us will lose our lives. You are not dunking on the Dems. You are dunking on us. The joke is on us. America is not who many leftists want to believe it is. The truth is...
Are you not a Democrat? I presume she means the party, but...
that this country is deeply, deeply racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, fundamentally hateful, and downright uneducated. No one will gain
there we go. Uneducated.
anything from a Trump presidency.
Holy fuck. Can you imagine? With how much hate of uneducated people there is at the moment, and of Latinos, is the counter-Trump strategy going to be like, we need more whites in universities so they'll vote blue? I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. It would just be fun.
But the losses will be crippling. Importantly, although I think many leftists are wrong in what they'll choose to take from the results of this election, I want to be explicitly and abundantly clear that leftists, far left or otherwise, are not to blame for the results of this election. Shoots, not even the Electoral College
Yeah, they're not to blame because they don't have the influence.
is to blame because most voters did vote of this election. Shoots, not even the Electoral College is to blame because most voters did vote for Trump. But you know who didn't? Black people. If there is one solitary group in this country who is not to blame for the dark time,
that's all it is. This is gonna be a whole genre, isn't it? Just videos of black women saying it's not my fault.
times that are soon to come upon us, it's black people who voted overwhelmingly for the Democrats and to save this democracy. And despite how many thinly veiled racist attacks black people had to endure all election season, that we were only voting for Kamala because she's black, all ranging from Republicans to white leftists and even some non-white people.
Were you? You don't think a certain percent were?
Like the Green Party's both transphobic and anti-abortion vice presidential pick, Butch Ware. The truth is that black people always vote overwhelmingly Democrat, even when the candidates have been white as they usually are, because the alternative is a white supremacist party openly and aggressively committed to our subject.
It's a good meme. It's, I voted for the other guy, but it's, you can't get away with saying, I voted for the other guy. It has to be, my race voted for the other guy, so I'm not responsible. It has to be on the level of your racial demographic voting for the other guy to not be held culpable, I guess.
So do not look to black people to blame for what's to come. Look to white men, white women, and Latino voters, who I wish I could say I was surprised by, but I am not, because I know what this.
It's this weird thing again, though, isn't it? Isn't it you who's supposed to be bearing the brunt? Why would the people who are not going to be hit like you are be blaming you for you being hit? They're not going to care. Her model of the way things are doesn't make sense to me.
Country is. Throughout Kamala Harris's campaign, people who invested their efforts into protesting against her because their contempt is reserved for liberals, not fascists, told us that they were protesting Kamala Harris and making demands of Kamala Harris while speaking nothing of Donald Trump, asking nothing of Donald Trump, and downplaying every threat made by Donald Trump because they said that they knew they could not get anywhere with Donald Trump. And they were correct.
Yeah.
We will not get anywhere with Donald Trump. So save your demands because he will not hear them. Hold off on your protests because you will likely be brutalized and criminalized as Donald.
If you have the balls for it, getting brutalized is really good for you, for your cause.
Trump has promised police violence. Make peace with the rights that you've already lost to Trump's Supreme Court and kiss the remainders goodbye, because any hope at saving the Supreme Court or any of your rights is done, at least for your lifetime. Whatever you thought the Democrats didn't do enough of, prepare to lose even that much. I don't have to wonder about the night.
Like, black advocacy runs on martyrdom. Like, go get mowed down on purpose. Like, it'll probably work.
And kiss the remainders goodbye, because any hope at saving the Supreme Court or any of your rights is done, at least for your lifetime. Whatever you thought the Democrats didn't do enough of, prepare to lose even that much. I don't have to wonder about the nightmare to come, because Donald Trump, the Republicans, and the Christian Heritage Foundation told us exactly what they have planned.
Like, if they're really gonna massacre protesters, I think that shit would turn around supporters. If Trump backs up massacres of peaceful protesters, that happening, I think, would turn a lot of people.
And how they're going to do it. And America overwhelmingly declared that it's what they want. And who am I to lecture America about what's best for them? I moved through so many emotions tonight.
Just march on the Fed. Just be totally peaceful. Just march on the Fed.
From heartbreaking disbelief.
I'm not saying to actually do that. Okay? Don't shoot me. But hypothetically, for your goals.
To rage, and finally, I have tried to land on apathy and exhaustion. I have expended all my energy trying to convince Americans that you should take seriously a man threatening to upend your democracy and civil rights, especially when that same man already served as president and did things like incite a fucking insurrection when he lost. I have no energy to keep trying to convince Americans that their enemy is not the most oppressed, marginalized group in their society.
Ooh. But how would you feel if Trump had lost?
That hurting immigrants will not bring you money, power, or resources of any kind. That immigrants are not the reason you don't have those things.
I've streamed with Spoon. He keeps inviting me and then I keep forgetting.
Tired of trying to explain to leftist accelerationists that you are not going to convince the Democrats to be more left-wing by putting the far-right nutjobs in office. That you are not going to spite the Democratic Party or the powers that be by not electing them. That you are not going to show them shit. You're not holding them accountable. You are strapping the country.
I think there's something maybe she's not identifying. Maybe I'm wrong. I think in the weirdo online leftoids, there is definitely... There are two elements. There's a, like, how should I describe it? Not exactly a victim fetish, but they want to live under oppression. They want to, like, they want cred. They want oppressive government cred. But also, I think there's a streak of fantasizing about being accelerationists. They want... They have this fantasy of things falling apart, pushing things faster to the point where it hits boiling point and everyone rises up.
And the most marginalized people in it to the fucking rails. I am tired trying to explain to people.
But they can't openly say that. They can't openly say that, so instead they have their excuses about Gaza, about her being too much of a lib as opposed to being too liberal.
That the world they dream of cannot be accomplished with a single phone call, no matter what people who do nothing but run for president every 4 years tells you. I am tired of trying to explain anything to Americans who so desperately wanted to be able to critique Kamala Harris in a vacuum that an election is about choice. It is about choosing someone in relation to the other candidates. Couldn't possibly make sense to make these indictments of Kamala Harris in a vacuum. Meanwhile, Trump is the alternative. You know what's been on my mind all elections?
Why? Take that and try and figure out why they're doing it. I think one explanation is they're sort of closet accelerationists.
Season. Repeatedly, I hear Americans complain that every election they say this is the most important election, that democracy is in danger. Every time I hear this complaint, it leaves me at a loss. As I just start firing.
I think it's just very American. Everything's bigger over there.
Firing questions at myself. Is something less true because you hear it often? What does it cost you to go vote? Why are people behaving as though by being asked to vote? The bare minimum, they are being asked to build the ark and load the animals by their lonesome by end of business day. Is it absurd that democracy and your personal freedoms would be under threat in a nation where white supremacists never wanted you to have those freedoms in the first place?
Yeah, reading some of the things people are saying in the chat. Yeah, as well. Bear in mind, disproportionately, you're going to be hearing opinions from people who want an online following, and they want people to look to them. So it's in their interest for things to be as bad as possible for those that are aligned with them, so they'll come under their wings, so that they'll come to them.
Is it absurd that you would be told your vote is important and that it's necessary you exercise it in a nation where you had to fight for the right in the first place because the white supremacists in charge didn't want you to have it? I don't even understand the need for this exacerbation of the concept of being told at election time, the time where power is up for grabs, that it will yet again be important to prevent your enemies from gaining power. Someone promised that because it was important to vote in one election, that it could not or would not be important to vote in the next one?
What?
Yes, you keep being told that this is the most important election and that democracy is under threat. Because it is. How many rights do we have to lose before we get it through our thick skulls that our rights are always in danger? That we will have to keep showing up and fighting for our rights. And not just by voting. That's the
Based Second Amendment enjoy.
least of it if you can vote. Republicans spend 50 years actively working to overturn Roe, and they always show up to vote. Because they get that it's never just a one and done. You have to fight to get rights, and you have to fight to maintain them. Your ancestors did not fight for your
Well, you know, Trump promised me I'd never have to vote again.
right to vote in one election. No one told you
But I scammed him. I didn't vote.
only one election mattered. It's a right you keep exercising. And honestly, you should want to. No one should have to fight you to use what power you do have. I do not know why people keep acting like because the last election they were told was the most important, that the next one can't be. Have you ever had problems?
Who's acting like that? I ain't seen that. I haven't seen that. She says this over and over again. I haven't seen people say that.
And have those problems ever gotten worse over time? Exactly. Have you ever worked out and dieted so that you could lose?
A lot of 2020 was the situation, not people being convinced it was that important then and they don't think it's important now. I don't think that's what's happening.
Lose weight? And when you lost that weight, how did you maintain it? By continuing to work out and eat right. But like I said, I have gone through all
Why are they always talking about this?
the emotions. Disbelief, rage, and finally
Yo, leftists be eating.
apathy. Or at least I am trying to feel apathetic because the pain is overwhelming. I've been in America since I was 14 years old and I am now 31 years old. That is 16 years and 5 elections that I've had no say in. All have impacted me greatly. But 2016 upended my life. 2016 brought forth one of the worst times in my life as an immigrant in this country. But as I sit here in 2024,
You're complaining? You're putting out a video that me, an American living in the UK, has to listen to, and you're complaining?
coming to terms with what's in store for me
I can't even understand what the fucking people here say.
again and how I avoid it. I know that America not only does not give a fuck, but it's the outcome they wanted. So there's no need.
Sorry, wait. Wait, this is... Sorry, just to be clear, this is an entitled foreigner? In the UK? Bitching? Feel like you should lead with that. Feel like this is almost fucking unethical.
For me to keep bearing my soul or trying to plead with this nation, I am going to save my breath, as I should have all election season, and as I will when Donald Trump takes hold of this country and people start to
What the fuck?
experience the
To even be put in the same
Donald times in my life as an immigrant in this country. But as I sit here in 2024, coming to terms with what's in store for me again and how I avoid it, I know that America not only does not give a fuck, but it's the outcome they wanted. So there's no need for me to keep bearing my soul or trying to plead with this nation. I am going to save my breath, as I should have all election season, and as I will when Donald Trump takes hold of this country and people start to experience the fascism they insisted was already here. I am no longer in a position to advocate for Americans who advocate against immigrants like me.
What the fuck? Fuck off. Dog.
This is what the
Actually,
majority
fuck
of
off.
Americans wanted, and my heart is with those of us who will not survive it.
I'm ashamed of you, America. not voting in the way that me, a foreigner, prefers. Fuck off. I didn't expect this to be that annoying. She's only recently become aware of the concept of mortality. Anyone got any good recs? What the hell have I been linked here? A Japanese garlic video from my GF. What is this?
Hello. I'm here to address.
Oh! Fresh race war. Fresh race war drama. I need to take a piss real quick. I need to take a pee-pee real fast. But we have an Ethan Klein video called Hassan Piker is a Weasley Little Liar. He flipped it on him. He flipped it on him. This is still burning? I didn't know this was still burning. Okay, I need to go to the loo though. Let me put on a little bit of video game music. Thunk. See you in a minute. I've returned. We're gonna have a palate cleanser. Kind of the opposite of a palate cleanser. The cold air downstairs fucks me up. The music is Cookie Crumbler from the Atomic Heart OST. It's by Jeffrey Day. Alright. Let me out of the cookies. You can have my cookies. Alright.
じゃあ予約1ヶ月先まで埋まってる超人気店。あちらこちらにニンニクが。いや、ドリンクも。
What a beautiful language. Alright, garlic bread. Big old garlic. Nice. Like comfy garlic? Okay. It's going to be really sweet. Or caramelized. Oh, we got the Oringi mushrooms or whatever. Alright. I don't think this is too much. This is fine. It's fine. It's like garlic instead of prawns. I'd eat it, no problem. 100% no problem. I'm from the land of the garlic festival. It's not too much, babe. It's fine. I'll make it for you. I'll show you. Next time I make you sausage pasta. So the Twitch race war, I presume, is still going on. I presume this is still the anti-Semitism war. Or perhaps it's become more personal. We'll find out. I haven't followed the most recent updates. I saw the Twitch CEO's statement. There was kind of nothing. And we'll see what's going on between Ethan and Hassan. Supposedly Hassan has lied. According to the title, let's find out.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here to address something that happened.
What is this aspect ratio? I hate it.
On Thursday's show, we were doing our post-election COPE stream, and the subject of Israel had came up, and here is what was said about it. Let's take a look.
All right.
Trump is so pro-Israel, it's insane.
Not only is he pro-Israel,
him
he
and
hates
Bibi,
Arabs.
him and Bibi
like
talk a lot, and Bibi's become a lot like Trump.
Yeah, Bibi's his guy. They're like homies. Bibi's celebrating last night.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's...
Mega do. What is the... Hang on. I was talking about this earlier. What is the Trump death cult? Do you remember all that? People kept talking about it. Whereas like there's some fucking Christian group that's like, we need to support Israel to bring about the end times, fulfill the prophecy shit that people were yelling about for about 2 years ago and then stopped talking about it.
Like so Trump coded.
Well, he was like a moderating voice in the war
BB Mega Boo Boo
room.
Yeah.
And he got rid of him, or at least a more moderate voice. I don't know anything about the guy.
Here we're talking about Yoav Galat, who was a member of Netanyahu's war cabinet, who just yesterday was fired by Netanyahu because he wanted to end the war. And Netanyahu wants to continue the war, and therefore he fired him. Once he was fired, people in Israel took to the streets and are protesting because as far right as Netanyahu's, war cabinet is, he is literally a moderating voice in that cabinet and was the only one representing the people and pushing for the war to end. The problem with Yoav, which I don't even think Hila probably knew at the time because this war's been going on for so long, is that he's somewhat infamous for this quote here. He said on October 8th, there will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. We are fighting human animals and we act accordingly.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
When he's talking about entering Gaza in the first phases of the war. Now, a lot of people look at this...
He was just warning, look, Hamas have animorphs. You gotta be careful. If they have enough food, you'll go into the tunnels and they'll just fucking morph. They'll become like a giant gorilla, a leopard. You're in trouble. That's what he meant by human animals.
Language and think that it's dehumanizing and genocidal, and I'm one of those people. I agree that this is a horrible thing to say, and I don't defend him, and I never would defend him, a statement like this, which I assume people who watch this show know and understand. Now, a year plus later, for whatever reason, this is the same guy who's advocating for the war to end in Israel. And Hila looking over the news, sees that people are rioting, that people are upset, and that people who want the war to end are upset that he got fired. And that's basically all that happened. We're talking about the
What is this meme where people will just show you a headline?
fact that he's the only person that wants to...
Just to show us that's the article she saw. Hold on a second. Protests erupt in Israel after Netanyahu. It's BBC time. Let's get a slight bit more of context. After BB, fire. BB, mega boo boom. Protesters chant Netanyahu is endangering soldiers over dismissal of popular defense minister. Thousands of Israelis have taken to the streets in central Tel Aviv to protest against the abrupt dismissal of defense minister Yoav Gallant. Amid Israel's ongoing war in Gaza and Lebanon, Mr. Gallant, a popular minister and provocateur, was fired by, that's a nice way of saying it, was fired by Prime Minister Benjamin due to significant gaps in a crisis of trust that affected the war. They've repeatedly been at odds over Gaza. Lots of broad statements about a breakdown of trust, a cracking, a separation. Grassroots Forum family said Mr. Gallant's dismissal was a direct continuation even of the effort to torpedo the abductee deal. Protesters gathered, posted that said they want better leaders. The former defense minister said on social media, security of the state of Israel was and will always remain the mission of my life. Yada yada yada. Okay. Whatever.
all that happened. We're talking about the fact that he's the only person that wants to end the war, and I personally don't understand how that's not relevant. Here from The Guardian, a left-leaning newspaper you guys all probably know. Here's a headline. Benjamin Netanyahu fires Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, triggering protests in Israel. Demonstration in Tel Aviv, widely seen by Israel's allies as a break on far-right elements of the Israeli government. Again, this isn't just my opinion. This is opinion that's held by internationally, that he is a moderating voice on the war cabinet, once again, advocating for the war to end, which is what I thought we all wanted. Here's another article from The Guardian. Yoav Gallant.
Hey, I mean, I think technically everyone does want that, just perhaps in different ways, by different means.
Gallant reportedly says Israeli army has nothing left to do in Gaza. The ousted defense minister also quoted as saying Netanyahu rejected peace deals against advice of his security officials. As you can see, I'm not saying any of this.
That seems like the most major part, yeah.
To defend him. What he said and what he's done should very well be investigated by the International Criminal Court, and if he's found, he should submit to an investigation. If he's found guilty, then charge him. But what I am saying is that I think that while Ela misspoke and said he's a good guy, her intention was that, you know, this guy is trying to end the war. And I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page as that being a good thing.
I feel like the reason I brought it up was mainly to express the frustration with Bibi and him firing the one guy that was somewhat, you know, attempting at moderation. It wasn't really so much to say Gallant is a good guy. I shouldn't have used that word. That was a bad choice on my part, considering stuff that he has said that I was not even thinking of. Really coming from the concerning feeling of like, we have Trump in office and Bibi just fired the guy that is opposing him.
Mistress IDF. I didn't mean he was good. I don't mean he's good, okay?
That's all I was trying to say, but I do understand that was not a good choice of words, and I would not have said that again. So I'm stepping away for a little while.
The understand thing, like, what do you mean understand? It could be her ESL, but like, when people talk about, I understand it's not good, it's a matter of your opinion. Is it actually not your opinion, or do you understand that it's not, or rather that it is frowned upon for you to say? What is the understanding?
While from being on camera and being on the podcast.
Because finding something good is feeling something.
podcast. It's too much and it's not fair for everybody. And yeah.
So that's where our head was at when we said that. But now people like Hassan are going on their channels and accusing us of supporting a war criminal. Anyway, here's what Hassan said this evening about the clip that sent everybody into a frenzy.
Crazy. I just hate how Ethan is brigading smaller content creators like the deprogram because he couldn't get to you. It's fucking gross how he keeps picking smaller content creators that are just getting by, and he is sitting on his golden throne. Is just straight up harassment. I know he's just.
I can't get over the fact that they
mass attention. The harassment game. Who's the deprogram? Kind of podcussy. Look at that. Nice avatars, bro. Oh.
keep fucking crying about me responding to these communities. Like, this is the biggest socialist podcast. They have like they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Second Thought has 2 million subscribers. When can I respond to these people? When?
My answer: the second they fucking publish media publicly. Bam, fair game. You put it somewhere people can see it freely. People can just, at most, they need to sign into an account that anyone's allowed to sign up to. You can respond to it. You can talk about it. You can feature it.
When is it warranted? Like, give me a fucking break.
He's just like aligning with all these fucking drama peddlers like Keemstar and shit in an effort to try and get me fucking banned is psychotic to me, you know? I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
This he's gonna do the bit, he's gonna do the thing. I loved when I talked about that fucking weird lowly fanboy weirdo. Don't remember their name. But when I talked about them, you'd get people like tweeting at you and saying, "You're aligning with blah blah blah." People you've never fucking heard of in your life. You're aligning with them. You're aligning with them. You have the same opinion as them, and then they do this other stuff. I don't give a fuck. Aligning. Fuck off.
Psychotic to me, you know? I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
What a fucking liar, dude. What a Weasley little fucking liar. He's just straight up lying. He's just lying right now. In fact, this is a lie that he keeps saying, is that I'm somehow aligning myself with Keemstar. Once again, I'll show you. I went and fished out the original stories. I was talking about Frogan getting shit from a ton of conservatives for her wonderful remarks about hoping American military men get PTSD. I was showing it to say it's not my fault that she's getting harassed when this clip of hers going mega viral on Twitter and being called out by the worst people on the internet, right? Look at, these are all conservative shit.
Okay. What did he say at the start? Don't act like you're not pogging. Don't act like you're not pogging at this, though. 7.5 mil views. Sadly, no one cares about anti-Semitism, but in America, people do care about veterans. At least performatively. Prob shouldn't have said that. Get fucked, retard, I think is the subtext. It's not, oh no, look at this terrible stuff happening. Come on.
A ton of conservatives for her wonderful remarks about hoping American military men get PTSD. I was showing it to say it's not my fault that she's getting harassed when this clip of hers going mega.
I was showing it to say it's not my fault. Come on. Come on. You were rubbing it in. Maybe you shouldn't have said that, dipshit.
Mega viral on Twitter and being called out by the worst people on the internet, right?
It's not. But he's not. He didn't fucking post that to show that it's not his fault.
Right? Look at, these are
all
conservative shitbags. These are all people that I disagree with and have openly said terrible things about.
He's pretending.
Including Keemstar.
He's not pretending to not like those people. He's pretending that he wasn't getting off on it. Nice try, scapegoat. Oh no, never mind. You know what? I'm fucking wrong. It's in response to something then. Nice try scapegoating me, losers. I got owned by Paul Zandine.
So, like, the way that he singles him out.
But still, don't act like it's just that.
And says, oh, Ethan is co-signing Keemstar. He's a fucking liar, dude. He's a Weasley little...
Don't act like you're not loving it, though.
Liar.
The person that they're talking about is Yoav Gallant. Yoav Gallant, alongside Benjamin Netanyahu, has an act.
Oh. No way. Did she actually? Oh no, if she actually did. So here's an Augie, I don't know how to say the name. For some reason, Frogan decided joining Kick would be a good idea. I disavow these, but Chaotic Knight says oink. Someone says Mohammed fan art stream. When? Someone says oink oink piggy. Her permanent category should be farm animal. Get this bitch gone, please. Let's get her banned on Kick. Never knew Jabba the Hutt was a streamer. If this is real, she knew. People like this do it on purpose. They do shit like this so that they can get those comments. Normally.
Petition for his...
It's like a fucking classic. It's a classic. There's no way she would sign up to that and be shocked.
His arrest by the ICC. The person that they are talking about here, before getting fired by Benjamin Netanyahu, the person that they're calling a moderating voice, said this, which is the reason why there is an active petition, an active application.
Wait, that's the guy from Whiplash. That's Vern or whatever, who was in the he was Vern in Oz. It's that guy.
For a warrant for his arrest by the ICC. I don't know. I'm legitimately shocked.
The problem why I'm frustrated with this whole situation, you guys know me. I'm more than willing, more than happy to address.
Yeah, I'd suggest that is misleading. The description of him as a moderating voice is... What is he a moderating voice in contrast with? Like, they're not calling him a moderate.
Shortcomings and errors that I've made and take every chance I can to learn and grow from them, right? But the problem I have is that there's our subreddit and our community is overridden with these 8-year longtime ultra fans who can no longer, tolerate us, or they can no longer walk down this path with us as we've thrown our lot in with the Nazis, right? But
the H3 pipeline.
Like, these same people, okay, they hold no standards. And Hassan can go out there and glaze an international terrorist organization and its leader and glaze up Hassan Nasrallah.
Ethan, it's a race war, bro.
Like he's
They're just on the other side.
Fucking great dude.
Hassan Nasrallah was assassinated. Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. They are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well, like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
How the fuck does he get away with that? What the fuck?
Give you guys a...
I say that shit, one person reports me, I'm fucked. Not that I would say that, but...
Crash course on Hezbollah. Let's start back from the beginning. 1983 suicide truck bombing of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. 45 embassy staff were killed, 34 injured. They bombed the French Marine barracks in Beirut, 300 dead. Attempted murder of the head of the Turkish Jewish community. Suicide bombing of the Argentine Jewish Mutual Association building in Buenos Aires, 85 killed, 300 injured.
I don't have an issue.
Is this the Terror Olympics?
With them, let's just say.
Bombing of a restaurant near the U.S. Air Force Base in Spain, 18 killed, 83 injured. Car bombs of the U.S. Embassy in Beirut, 11 killed, 58 injured. Hijacking of Kuwait airline planes, killed 4. Suicide bombing at the Israeli Embassy in Buenos Aires, 29 killed, 240 injured.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
Suspected of carrying out suicide bombing missions against Israeli vacationers in Bulgaria. Indicted for the assassination of former Lebanese Prime Minister Rafiq al-Hariri.
I don't have an issue with them.
Hezbollah participated in the Syrian civil war on the side of Assad, violent dictator. There was
He's probably like Hassan will watch this video and just be like, based.
Responsible for the genocide of well over 500,000 Syrians. Here's an article from Amnesty International. Syria, surrender or starve, strategy displacing thousands, amounts to crimes against humanity. Does that sound familiar?
I don't have an issue with them.
While the Syrian government's stated aim has been to vanquish opposition fighters, its cynical use of surrender or starve tactics has involved a devastating combination of sieges and bombardments.
I don't have an issue with them.
These have been part of a systematic as well as widespread attack on civilians that amounts to crimes against humanity. Sounds like...
Yeah, but they can literally do anything. And so long as he judges them to be effective in resisting Israel, they're good. It's simple.
What Israel's doing in Gaza.
I don't have an issue with them.
Relentless attacks on civilians, in addition to immense suffering caused by siege tactics, deliberate attacks on civilians and civilian objects cause unimaginable misery. The government and Hezbollah forces burned the agricultural fields, just as a form of Israel.
Terror boring. How do you make terror boring?
Inshallah. Our struggle will end only when the agreement. According to Shal Shai, Nasrallah said in a speech delivered in Beirut, what do the Jews want? They want security. He said the Jews invented the legend of the Nazi atrocities.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say.
So my point is, if you're going to come down so hard on Ela for what she said, where's the energy when Hassan defends Hezbollah and
Where do you think? There are people who've taken a side, dog.
Hassan Nasrallah, who is a violent, genocidal, anti-Semite who mass murdered Syrians and committed terrorism all around the world? Where's all the 8-year subscribers flooding into his community saying they can't follow him?
Is he under the illusion that it's about high-minded principles, it's about justice and looking at things from a disinterested perspective and judging everyone by the same standards? We're way fucking past that. Of course they're not gonna say
In these footsteps anymore.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
The double-edged sword wherein you can cut Hassan. You can cut him by saying destiny made him. But the other edge of that blade cuts all of us. Because, of course, destiny made him.
You have to remember something, okay? A lot of these dudes, you see them in their fucking fits, and you hear about like some of their attitudes about like gay people, for example, and you immediately fucking resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that
I'm gonna fall asleep. Anyone got any other good memes? Anyone got any good memes? That was not a good meme. I regret this. What do I have in my magical little folder? Let me check the length of some videos. I have a fun. How long is this one? We can go entirely off topic. That was already kind of off topic. How long is this one? A Doge Whistle 101? I suppose I could. Let me see what you've got available. No, we're not doing dog whistles today. I will card. If you really are the real card. I'll do a couple or so soon. But I was shown this. Here's a short one. Totally off. Drama? How's furry consent badge drama sound? I think people have sent it to me a couple times. I don't know what the drama is. This seems like a really bad idea. On its face, if this is, let's judge it. Let's judge the book by its cover. All right. Having a little badge that says "I consent to being picked up." It's asking for trouble. It's asking for extreme trouble. Let's see what happened. I'm imagining some sort of like dump tackle. I'm imagining people getting hurt. Will I be disappointed? Will I be disappointed?
Let's talk about the furry consent or interaction badge.
Jesus. Fucking Christ. I regret
Badges
it.
that went viral on Reddit. It was reposted on Twitter many times, and despite it seeming like one of those moments where it would leave its target audience and, you know, the non-furries would rag on furries yet again, it actually had a pretty good positive reception from both furries and non-furries alike. I know, there's a first for everything, but here we are. Long story short, a post was made.
And you know he said first with a U instead of an I.
On the subreddit known as Mildly Interesting, in which someone posted a picture of these furry consent badges that are sold at furry conventions by the artist known as Papaya Badger. These furry consent badges.
Limited sight. I don't consent to seeing you. Do not boop. No hugs. Please don't touch me. I think it tells a story if you need a badge that says "Don't touch me." At furry conventions, I'm just saying. Do not interact, give me space. Do not pick up.
That are sold at furry conventions by the artist known as Papaya Badger. The post got a lot of traction to the point where it ended up being on the front page of Reddit. It made its way to Twitter, in which many different accounts were talking about it and posting about it. The post...
Furry conventions are great. Just remember to bring your double-sided vest that says "Do not pause me" on both sides, and you'll have a great time.
This was made to pretty much highlight the wide range of consent or interaction badges that you can wear during a furry convention, or really any social scenario. Like this isn't exclusive to furry. Like no hugs. I feel like that, you know, might go without saying for non-furries. You know, when you're out and about in public, I don't know how many people give hugs.
Oh, it actually is an issue where they specifically need those signs because they're just way too fucking touchy. Okay.
Or whatnot. But at furry conventions, hugs are pretty much like on the daily. And despite those badges being contextually furry and I guess the picture quote unquote leaving its target audience, the reception was actually rather warm and positive. A lot of really good and supportive comments were left both on Reddit and on the Twitter posts. And that's
perhaps very positive.
Surprising, knowing anytime something goes viral within furry, usually you got a good mix of like negative and positive interactions with it. Just because people still see furry as cringe and weird, and they can't get past that even if something is remotely positive for what's being.
I don't think needing "Don't molest me" signs is heartwarming and normal. No, it's real creepy.
Posted. And finally, I want to talk about how despite all that, the artist still has some reservations and worries about the badges themselves.
Some corporate scum will steal my designs and sell them at Hot Topic or Spencer's. And I won't be able to do anything about it because I'm just a small creator. They could rip off your idea. They're not going to rip your design.
Going viral. So let's talk about it. I need a palate cleanser from all the negative Nancy stuff I've.
I need a palate cleanser from all the rancid cum settled into the crevices of my teeth following the convention.
Had to talk about recently. I have always been for these consent badges in general. I've seen them being picked up by conventions themselves. They'll have these little.
Given what we've seen and the way he described things, saying I'm for these consent badges is saying I'm for consent by default and you need to opt out of being touched. That's fucking wild, in my opinion.
badge pickup options where you can choose like, hey, interact with me, sometimes interact with me, I'm socially anxious, please be wary, or don't talk to me right now, I'm busy, I'm getting from point A to point B.
Yes, bro, you're talking about things like saying don't talk to me. I think it's fair to be like, it's okay to start talking to a stranger, say hi, nice to meet you, my name's blah blah blah. Sure. Grabbing, touching, hugging, lifting, sucking with a stranger by default should just be no.
A lot of these really help in the grand scheme of furry conventions. When there's so much going on all at once, there's so much energy that you don't really know what to do. So for example, you have the simple ones like please don't touch me, no hugs, limited sight, low visibility, all super simple. You even have, you know, some meme and funny ones like uppies or
guys, I didn't want to get molested, but I'm too poor to buy the designer badge. The King Furry owns rights to don't get raped badges, and he's cranked the price recently. So now my asshole is twice as wide. Permanently.
awkward but friendly, please talk to me. I like stuff like that because you can't really get the message across when you're first interacting with someone, and most of the time when, you know, you are interacting with someone, especially in the furry sense, you're using your vision. You're looking at them first and you're seeing, you know, signals, cues, and sometimes that might not be apparent. Sometimes you need a badge to signify that, and that's why I think these badges are an excellent addition to anyone looking to use them for a furry convention or any other scenario outside of it. I especially like the badge.
Any other scenario. You want a world where by default, like, just fucking touching you is okay? Nah.
Of Who Wants Uppies, and it's just a buff cat. That is just perfect. I love it. And it seems like, based on the reception from what people were commenting about them on both Reddit and Twitter, they agree as well, not even just for the furry context, but any other social context outside of it. Some people were even saying they would use the Do Not Boop badge on their snake enclosure, or even as a meme using the hug.
Yeah, that's not using it though. That's placing it as decoration. That's not using it for its function as a sign and a signal.
Friendly on their pet scorpion's enclosure, which, yeah, I'm not gonna hug a scorpion. Sorry, not sorry. And the same reception was had on Twitter. I think someone who goes by Hank Green even thought, you know, this idea was awesome. I want a Who Wants Uppies shirt and also an Uppies shirt. One of the questions that I saw a few people asking, sort of not against these badges, but I feel like was more so asking why, is the question of, oh, furry conventions are a social event. If you're not looking to be social and you need these badges to say you're not being social, why even go in the first place? Which
No, that's a silly question. Badges as an opt-out, fine, whatever. You don't want people to talk to you, put on a badge that says don't talk to me. I'm not gonna fuck with you or something.
Hopefully these questions aren't supposed to be negative in nature. Maybe they actually want to know. And I'd like to answer that because I've seen this question asked a lot, even in comments on my videos, about these consent badges. Well, the reason why
he's put the big think music on. We're learning now.
Why some people want these badges is because communication might not be the easiest thing in the world for a lot of people. Just because you go to a furry convention doesn't mean you have to meet.
It's like I'm watching House. He's diagnosing me.
Any sort of social expectations with it. You can meet people and interact and have your own experience at a convention however you'd like. And I think badges like this really do help highlight it. I know some people looking at these badges worry about them being very commonplace just in general in the world, and I don't want looking at these badges worry about them being very commonplace.
Ooh, give me space. Chronic pain. Please be patient. English is not my first language. If you need that sign, you probably don't need that sign. If you understand what I'm saying, the point at which you require consideration because English isn't your first language is the point at which, brother, people know.
Just in general in the world, and I don't want to say the standard at furry conventions is different where people will just run up to you and hug you, but some
you kind of did earlier. You already did.
Sometimes even asking before giving a hug is sometimes a thing people don't do. Another thing to keep in mind as well, and this isn't supposed to be charged or negative or accusatory in any way. It is just something that I have observed and seen thrown around a lot online. But I feel like a good chunk of furries are on the spectrum in some way, shape, or form. You know the hip with the kids term that people are using, RISM with the TISM? I feel like that also applies to me in some sense. As someone who is on the spectrum, you know, I get that. Communication can be hard, especially when people are looking to do...
Chat, if you see me in public, you better be wearing a badge or you're getting touched. I have autism. I can't help it.
X, Y, or Z immediately before you're even able to say anything. And that might be a fault on some other people's end, but at the end of the day, you kind of just have to do the best you can when things are moving at a million miles a minute, sometimes at furry conventions. And the one thing to keep in mind as well about interacting just in general, and this goes for furries and non-furries alike. A lot of times when you go to interact with someone, you look at them and you see them before you say something to them. Very rarely do you hear people before you see them, especially when you're looking to have a one-on-one conversation or interaction with someone. So when you go and see them, you're just looking at them visibly. What are you going to look at? Usually the badge name, usually like the head or face if you like, you know, doing eye contact and all that. I don't mind it. But point being, you're usually looking at people before you interact with them.
It's this wild split. Consideration of like discomfort at eye contact and stuff, okay. Understand all this. By the way, it's probably best if you get a badge or you're getting touched.
And so if you see these badges with certain contexts or interactions that they need, accommodations they might want in certain social situations, that helps mitigate a lot of that, or someone having to tell you. It helps a lot of that. Now for these badges, this isn't like the first time they're being shown. I've seen them plenty times in years past, I think like 1 to 2 years ago, even by Papaya Badger, which to even show like they have a wide range even more now. And I think a lot of these are actually 3D printed too. That's kind of neat. Like I said before, these consent badges are really cool. I think they're neat. I think furry conventions can make excellent use of them, or attendees just in general can make use of them. I know I have in years past when I've needed to get from point A to point B and I don't really want to be stopped or, you know, get a picture or anything. I'm feeling low social battery. I just want to get my coffee in the morning. I'll throw on one of these badges on my lanyard, go about my day, and it really does help in the end. Because you got to keep in mind, outside of, you know, talking or interacting with people,
there's this sick strategy where you just fucking ignore people.
You know, they won't really assume or know about how you're feeling, you know, internally or socially, anxiety-wise too. Anxiety is a big thing. But go to any dealer's den at a furry convention, you're bound to find badges like this. And hopefully you find thing. But go to any dealer's
handler.
Den at a furry convention, you're bound
like Tard Wrangler
to find badges like this. And hopefully you find them from Papaya Badger, the one who made these. However, there is a little bit of an issue with this when something like this becomes viral that actually Papaya Badger ended up highlighting in some of their tweets recently that I honestly agree with and want to bring some light to. One of the things they were really worried about with this going viral is that there would be some bad actors trying to come in and steal the badge designs for themselves.
Oh man. Writing on a colored rectangle. Generic phrases like, don't touch me, on a colored rectangle of plastic. Please. My creative essence is being stolen.
And then end up reselling them for like, you know, a knockoff sort of price and to kind of take away from what they're trying to sell. Which, you know, the argument could come into account.
They're eating my margins, man. They're snaffling them. I can't compete.
Might not own the badges or the designs with them. They might be so, you know, very basic with what they're looking for. Like, no.
You can't trust those cheap Chinese anti-rape badges. They just don't work. The writing comes right off. Don't rape becomes rape with just a little scuff against your clothing. Watch out.
No hugs and a cross sign, that just might be natural for someone to want to make something like that without copying it. I know there's obviously a process when you're running a business to like trademark or copyright your things and then, you know, spend all...
You have copyright at the moment of creation, brother.
All this money making sure...
You can register it, but you own the copyright when you make it.
You own it. And it's just like... not everyone wants to do that. Sometimes you just want to sell something cool to the community and make like a few bucks here and there on it. Their concern is valid in that these badges becoming as viral as they are, someone might come by and steal the design and use it for their own profit, when the original artist might not actually make much from it to begin with. They're just kind of doing something fun for the community. The best you can do and the best the community can do is just try to promote the original artist and creator. And that's what I want to do with this video. The link to Papaya Badger's website where you can get those badges will be linked in the description below, so please go and check that out.
He does it
if you
for
want
free.
context for who made these original badges, it is Papaya Badger. I'm not affiliated or sponsored by them in any way. I'm just promoting something I think is cool and hope.
Bro, it's like all wax lyrical about the bizarre ruling.
Do not steal my super chat.
Shit.
Thank you.
Thank yai, brother. All wax lyrical about the bizarre, but not a little piece of plastic with some writing on it. Where's this? He did talk about this a year ago.
How does my background look in my room?
Color
It's
badges.
messy, not really.
This ain't worth looking at. You know what, folks? I think that's gonna be all. I need to get myself a badge to stop you from, I have to get a no bantering label so that you can't be mean to me on stream, okay? And I'm gonna peace out until tomorrow, lest I burn through all the videos I have to look at. We have some stuff. Cinebears, do you want a glimpse of hell before I go? Cinebear's roommate has wait, no they haven't. Oh fuck, I didn't look at the date on the video. Never mind, we don't have Cinebear's roommate. We have a video about German neo-Nazis though. Quote unquote neo-Nazis. We might have a Nazi theme tomorrow. We've got a guy talking about killing a Nazi. We've got a video about German quote unquote neo-Nazis. Got a Paris scam video. Till tomorrow, thank you very much for your viewership, companionship, and incredible generosity. Till then, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the crystals bite.